You're watching the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. Here in the heart of Winston-Salem, in Tabor City they call it. Fun matchup, 5A, 6A battle. The Oak Grove Grizzlies, their 8th year of high school football. Mount Tabor Spartans, they're one of the best programs in this region, and heavy hitters with league title implications tonight on My 48. Welcome to Bob Sapp Field with the former Catawba offensive lineman Mark Covert. I'm Evan Budrovich. It's suit and tie season. That means it's league title season. Here's Mount Tabor, last 3 wins, 82 points, and Oak Grove's defense, one of the best in the state. Mark, what makes these programs dangerous?
Well, it's the ability to play a physical brand of football. These are two of the best teams in the conference, dare we say the best teams in the conference, playing in the best game of the conference season. Huge playoff implications, a conference title potentially on the line here tonight. Two teams that are going to be getting after it from the first whistle.
Oak Grove and Mount Tabor have never met on the football field, and for more on this rivalry, here's Chelsea Groves.
Yeah, guys, a big one here tonight in Winston-Salem. A first-time matchup between these two teams, and this one can carry a lot of weight here in conference play. Head coach of Mount Tabor, Tyshawn Brown, said he's been wanting to schedule Oak Grove here for years, and now with the conference realignment, the game is on the schedule. And he said whoever can win this game tonight will have some major ups heading into the postseason. And for Oak Grove, head coach Robert Creason, he said the message really hasn't been too unique this week, really hasn't focused on the first-time matchup between the two teams. He just wants to capitalize coming off a big shutout win from last week, guys.
Thanks, Chelsea. Oak Grove's won 20 straight league games. Mount Tabor, they were dominant in the Central Piedmont, now playing in a league their size. Very fascinating game coming up. When we come back here to Bob Sapp Field, Mount Tabor, Oak Grove, first time or best time? How about some high school football when we return? Ben Bulwer is gigantic. He's like that Baylor linebacker who had the crop top.
Oh my God.
With the abs. Gorgeous night in Winston-Salem here at Mount Tabor High School, and let's talk about the weather. Here's tonight's Skywatch weather game forecast. Our chief meteorologist, Jonathan Went. Pretty busy guy these days, but that weather's perfect tonight.
Oh, absolutely spectacular. You can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Week 7, you're coming into an environment where there is a championship atmosphere this evening, and we are truly entering the time of year, Evan, where it's getting to true football weather.
It's not just great weather, great programs, Mark. And for Oak Grove, they haven't lost a league game in 20 years. How do the Grizzlies, 20 games, not 20 years. How do the Grizzlies continue that stretch?
Well, it's about playing physical tonight, matching the physicality that we know the Mount Tabor always loves to play with. And the quick passing game is going to be so important to offset some of the pressure that the Spartans are going to want to bring defensively. And that Mount Tabor football is always so much fun to watch. Physical, it's about running the football, playing hard-nosed defense. They've got to make sure that they're doing that tonight. It also involves dominating in the trenches, doing their job in that regard, and getting the edge on the line of scrimmage.
Oak Grove, 49 points in back-to-back weeks, and how do their stars shine bright tonight?
Well, for Oak Grove, it's just, again, that passing game has to be so good tonight, but you can't talk about what they do enough without talking about one of their defensive stalwarts in Bradley Bird. He is a monster at that middle linebacker spot. Over 300 career tackles, a guy who can really get after it, make plays on the field, and a true leader for what they want to do defensively. The Grizzlies have to have a strong game defensively tonight, and really it starts with their junior linebacker in Bradley Bird. And he's going to be going up against an offense. It's going to show a lot for the Spartans, but one guy, and one of your personal favorites, I know, Jaden Smith-Mafuth is a monster. He has developed so much here the last couple years and has really turned into a big-time player for the Spartans. Last year against Davie County in one of our games, 3 touchdowns. In that one, he's going to have to be massive here tonight. They want to come away with a win in a big conference matchup.
The Mafuth is loose. He's a wild specimen. We're getting ready for kickoff here, and there's Mafuth, the man who does everything. Mount Tabor, formerly of the Central Piedmont Conference, with new realignment in the state. They've moved down to the 6A level. There's 8 divisions in North Carolina, a level that they've dominated in league play. 3 league wins, all impressive. Oak Grove, meanwhile, they've dominated the Mid-Piedmont the last 4 years, hadn't lost a game, and now 2-0 in this conference as well.
Oh, ho-hum as it is for Oak Grove. Since they came into existence as a high school, the football program has been as strong as they come in the area. And Mount Tabor finally feels like they're at a point where they are eye level with their conference opponents, not punching up, but finally having a real chance to compete in the conference that they love their chance in.
Here's Liam Conway, the junior kicker. It's homecoming weekend at Mount Tabor, and we're underway. Working from the 25, Oak Grove brings it back. And a nice cut, good special team start. Impressive return for Blake Atkins, the senior running back.
Good solid return, get your offense in good field position to start this one. You're close to midfield, you've done a really good job, even on a short kickoff like that.
So Oak Grove's offense anchored by impressive junior quarterback Grayson Treadway. How about 15 touchdowns, only 4 turnovers. Second-year starter. He's been impressive.
Guy who's, as he gets more reps, is getting more confidence on the field. There's a lot of football left for these Grizzlies to play. He's going to get better and better.
First play for Treadway, feeds the running back, Kamari McFadden, and Kamari gets 3 yards. This is a defense from Mount Tabor that returns 2 good defensive linemen, Bennett Blaney and Territon Thacker, and these 2 have been huge in league play.
Absolutely. It's a defense that has gotten stronger as the season's gone on because a lot of guys have come back from injury.
Treadway on second down, feeds Amir Dalton, and he's spun back. There's that defensive line.
And as those plays get strung out and they go more lateral than they do vertical down the field, that favors Mount Tabor. They're going to crash down and get after the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring bodies, and it's your job to stop them.
There's the stop for Jalen Davis, the team captain at linebacker. Treadway last week, a perfect 6 for 6 passing. Oak Grove had the starters out by halftime, winning 49-0 against the Camels of Atkins. McFadden in motion, little pump fake, nice screen. Dalton slips through one, but good coverage by the Tabor defense. And there's a stop as we see the Mountain Fried Chicken starting lineup. We noted the return of Jesse Wallace at the linebacking spot. He's huge in the middle.
Yeah, he is. He's a true general for what they do defensively. He is going to have to be big and just noticing plays, calling out formations of where everyone might be going. It's a real tough challenge, but he is going to be up to it this evening.
Wallace missed the last 3 games in this win streak for Mount Tabor. And now the punter, Eli Fulcher. Dangerous return man back for Mount Tabor. Here's Joseph Malachi. Malachi stays on his feet. Nice hurdle. The Olympic Games in 3 years. And Malachi up to midfield.
2 returns in this game so far, 1 for each side, and great opportunities to be had, and they are making the most of them here. Just another great job noticing where the coverage is, breaking back to the sideline, and using his speed to get down the field.
Electric return game. Mount Tabor special teams, always a strength here in the Winston-Salem area. It sets up a neat story at quarterback. This is Kingston Brown. He's the son of head coach Tyshawn Brown, and as a sophomore, Mark, elevating his game in conference play.
And he's done a really nice job. Again, we talked on the other side, noticing as you go along and you get those reps in, you're going to build confidence. It's exactly what we've seen out of Kingston Brown as the season's gone on.
Brown's first play is a backwards pass. He finds the electric Meacham, and he's blown up in the backfield. There's Raekwon Fleming, the senior linebacker.
Fleming coming down, makes a nice hit there, reacts really well. You're looking for a block on the edge that time from someone out wide, just cannot get it. It's unfortunate. JoJo Malachi may have had some room to work with if that's the case.
Kingston Brown last week, 10 of 18 passing, a career best, 220 yards. It works here on 2nd and 12. First touch for the running back, Jock Hunder. Nice blow for Dylan Dillard. My apologies, gain of 2 there, 3rd and 8 coming up.
Like the dynamic between Hundred and Dylon Dillard coming into the game. A little bit of thunder and lightning between the two of them. They're going to have to be really good here this evening at the running back spot.
We noted Mafuth in the Mountain Fried Chicken starting lineup. His hands are not greasy, much like the chicken here in Winston-Salem.
True playmaker.
And Leo Phillips, the 3-year starter, right tackle, elevating this O-line.
Mafuth is at the top of your screen right now.
Here's 3rd and 7. An offense run very well by Gunnar Klontz, who was a running back coach at Elizabeth City State. He returns to his alma mater, where there are 8 alums on the coaching staff for Tyshawn Brown. His son goes short, and a lot of coverage. No flag, but a stop by Jaden Glenn, the senior DB.
Broke on it really well. Jaden Glenn just read that football straight out of the air. Brown locks on to Mafuth on the outside, just makes a great play on the football to knock that one down and bring up 4th down.
The Mountain Fried Chicken starting defense includes Ben Boulware, who's committed in the SEC. He'll play some big-time football next year.
He's got the SEC build as well. You'll see him. He's noticeable out there defensively, a man amongst boys just by stature. He's going to have a lot to say in the outcome of this game as well this evening.
Great stop by Jaden Glenn as well. This Oak Grove defense, just 12 points allowed in 3 conference games. They've been lights out. And here's the punting unit. This is James Price, and he clears it. Price has an electric leg. And that ball dies at the 2.
Hello.
Oh, did he stay in bounds? No, it is a touchback. Look at that special teams putting on a show. We'll take the timeout. Mount Tabor and Oak Grove, it's defense early. Look, we got special teams jerseys. Everybody getting involved here on I-48. Welcome back to Mount Tabor High School. This game is being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. Tip Top Roofing helping us out tonight. Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Football and Roofing. We noted the family ties with Tyshawn Brown and his son Kingston, the starting quarterback. Here's an Oak Grove program that's rolling as of late. Back-to-back wins with 49 points, and Grayson Treadway, who filled some huge shoes. Connor Creech, a great quarterback in his tenure. He's now at Hampton-Sydney. Treadway runs the attack tonight, slings it outside. An opening catch for the new transfer, Jaquan Clay. They call him Toot. I don't know why, because he's so fast, nobody's catching him.
Well, he likes to toot his own horn, right? Is that exactly how that goes, maybe? We're reaching for that one maybe a little bit. Good, solid pass to start the drive. Get it out there, quick passing game works to perfection.
There's Jared Rolfus, the OC, former Page coach. And now a first down run. That's Kamari McFadden for a gain of 5.
And this is where Oak Grove has to live tonight. It doesn't have to be the massive plays, but kind of like Dan Lanning said going into Oregon's matchup against Penn State a couple weeks ago, death by 1,000 cuts. That's exactly what it has to be for the Grizzlies on offense tonight.
That's a Crescent Ford first down. Quick toss route. Nice catch from Amir Dalton. And Dalton's got great speed. Look at the stiff arm. He's into Mount Tabor territory and gets 20. Mark, this offense runs at a fast pace. How does that help Oak Grove?
Well, it's just going to get the pace. You follow the tempo, the defense is going to wear down, and certainly not on just one drive, but as the course of the game goes on, You get into third and fourth quarter, this defense is going to be winded towards the beginning of drives as opposed to the end.
Nice crescent forward first down. Oak Grove moving quick here. McFadden again. He stretches it to the hash marks and gets at least 5 yards. And Mount Tabor's defense, who now has Jesse Wallace back, starting linebacker, it's going to be hard with Oak Grove moving this quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, again, the tempo is where it has to come into play. If you're Mount Tabor, you've got to start getting these tackles, not just quickly, but in the backfield. If you can knock them down before they get a full head of steam, you're helping yourself out a ton.
Here's Treadway going back inside. McFadden slips the tackle. Another first down for Oak Grove, who gains 8 that time.
And to that point, they're running tough right now. I mean, they're getting down the field. You've got blockers leading a convoy down the field at the moment. The Grizzlies are getting it after it on the offensive line.
Here's an early injury timeout for the Mount Tabor defense. And we certainly hope the best for that defensive lineman for Tabor that had 3 D linemen out the last 3 weeks. Now he gets back to his feet. D coordinator Ron Dunlap, who's an 11-year specialist at this program. Good to see Samir Kane back on his feet.
Kane is a big piece of that defense as well. He has been a terror since the bye week. Almost unblockable since conference play has started. He is a big piece within that Mount Tabor defense that sets the tone along that line.
There's Rob Creason. He's 23-3 in his tenure at Oak Grove, and those losses all in the playoffs, essentially. A run to the 3rd round of the playoffs a year ago for Oak Grove. And Rob's got a young son who's starting to crawl. That's always an adventure at the house. Here's a deep shot. Treadway! Whoa, through the hands of Clay. Would have been his 6th touchdown of the year.
When you get opportunities down the field against this Mount Tabor defense, you have to capitalize. They don't give up much, but sometimes that aggressive nature works against them. You get the deep shot straight down the field, and that is a gimme. You've got to haul that one in.
Jaquan Clay, he's a basketball player at High Point Christian, picked up football this year for Oak Grove. Now on 2nd and 10, new running back in, Blake Atkins. And Atkins gets a little tush push from his offensive line, gain of 2. That was Blake Stockstill on the push.
So now 3rd and long. You know Oak Grove wants to work in space a little bit more. The short passing game, getting their guys to work in the middle of the field. Gotta be wary of that if you're the Spartans.
Movement here on 3rd and 8. Grayson Treadway, 28 career passing touchdowns. He can sling it as a junior. Treadway play action. He wants the deep ball. Back to Clay, and that time a touchdown. There's the 30-yard bomb. Oak Grove explosive on their 2nd drive.
How do you build a receiver's confidence? He messes one up, misses one down the field. 2 plays later, you go right back to him in almost the same exact play, one-on-one to the outside, and let him run underneath the football. And that's exactly what Jaquan Clay does. 2 into the end zone for the first score of the night.
That's a run home with a triad touchdown where property owners and tenants find their perfect fit. Here's a 2-point play, and bouncing in there, a 2-point score for Amir Dalton. It's 8-0 Oak Grove.
What a play. Shot down the field, and the first score on the board tonight belongs to Toot and the Grizzlies.
Toot toot! You know, when Oak Grove's guy Jaquan Clay gets going, you got to call your fans at Beatty Plumbing, their fan cam. Beatty Plumbing, a straight flush, beats a full house. Looks like it's camo night for Oak Grove tonight.
We were looking at the sign pregame. Right below him, you see the green sign. It says Grizzlies going hunting or something along those lines. That feels backwards.
These Bears know how to hunt. Because
Well,
offensively, Mark, it's 40 points a game coming in, and there's Jaquan Clay with another touchdown.
Oh, just like any good hunter, they know how to take their shots as well. So going down the field, you miss one early on to Clay. 2 plays later, you go right back to him. That's the way you play sound football and good team football as well. You don't let that mistake linger. You go right back to him and let him build his confidence right back up.
Rob Creason noted in his 8 years with the program, the best passing offense he's ever had. As Treadway throws a 30-yard bomb. This kick into the end zone. Strong leg of Eli Fulcher. And now Mount Tabor, who went 3 and out off a turnover, gets the football right back.
You brought up the passing offense of Oak Grove, though, Evan. And it's been fun to watch the evolution of that because usually they're run heavy. They run a lot of option, a lot of smoke and mirrors plays. This year it's been more of that traditional drop back to pass, and it's benefited them a ton. A transition on the fly, and they've done a really good job of adapting to it.
Here's 6:24 left in this first quarter clock. We'll get that situated here in a second. Mafuth in motion, quarterback keeper. And Kingston Brown's got nowhere to go. Nice pursuit by Bradley Bird, who led the state in tackles a year ago. Mark, that's his 366th stop.
Experienced guy at that linebacker spot. Just really good at, honestly, just playing the game of football. Just a really nice job of sensing the play, feeling it out, and getting the ball carrier down that time. Brown had nowhere to go.
So a loss of 2 there on first down. Brown sends a man in motion. That's Jalen Davis. A flag on the play. And no gain there on second down. We'll see if this might be coming back. And while we have a moment in this week's Medical Minute presented by NCDHHS, NCDHHS managing health and human-related services for all North Carolinians. Here's our lead referee, Jamie Pine. Hopefully that man's been to Pinehurst a couple of times. Penalties early on for Tyshawn Brown's offense.
Coach Creason and that coaching staff feeling pretty good about what their defense is doing right now. Just elected to turn that one down, but you have to respect the deep passing ability of Brown in this offense here on 3rd and long.
Kingston Brown, a lot of time. Brown heaves one deep. He's got a receiver. Jalen Davis breaking away. Touchdown, Mount Tabor. There's the deep threat passing game of Tabor, and it's Kingston Brown scoring one for his dad.
You have to respect the deep passing game of Mount Tabor. Just as Oak Grove has evolved in the way they've thrown the football, Kingston Brown, as the season has gone on, has built that confidence up. The deep ball has become a major part of his game. And here on their first score of the night, it shines bright.
What an impressive throw to Jalen Davis. 2nd touchdown this year, run a home with a triad. And let's see if Mafuth goes for 2 in this spot. Mafuth scrambles, jukes, Mafuth throws a prayer, and it's caught. Jaden Mafuth, you do it again. And he finds Will Rowe that time.
Fire drill just down the field, trying to find something there. Mafuth stays alive long enough to keep that one up. But man, oh man, Kingston Brown to Jalen Davis, 80 yards to the house.
Kingston Brown throwing a bomb, and he's talking some trash. 7th touchdown of the year.
I mean, we've seen some deep passes this year, Evan, but that is as close to a Russell Wilson moon ball as we have seen. The trajectory of that pass, he fired that thing out there, and I'm looking down the field like there's no way it's going to slow down enough for Davis, who's fast enough to get underneath it, and it just hangs and hangs and hangs, and eventually it is a perfect pass right over the shoulder to Jalen Davis down the sideline.
And for more on this Kingston Brown offense, here's Chelsea Groves.
I'm going to give you a moment to plug your tickets. There's a lot of people that have the tickets today. And we will announce the winner following the kickoff by your
Coach
card.
told us that he's going back to Minnesota.
Number 35,
just starting out tackling football. Coach couldn't make it to one of his practices one day, but when he got got home, his wife said Kingston had been out there taking quarterback reps and they didn't see him take the snaps. So we asked how he did, and she said, actually, he looks pretty good out there.
Thanks, Chelsea. We'll get that full report here in just a moment, but it's interesting because, and to summarize her story, Kingston Brown, when he was subbed out in game 2, Tyshawn heard most from his wife, not from his son,
right,
taking him out in the second half of a loss against Reagan.
Always an interesting dynamic when you go in there, and not just as a coach. You have your partner in crime questioning some of your decisions, but certainly when you get your own siblings involved.
There's a kick return for Graham Brinkley, the backup QB, and a good special team start with a flag in around the 40-yard line. So that holding will negate the return.
Such a different kind of game so far offensively. We're used to these two teams running the football, being physical. Right now, the 2 scores on the deep pass.
Here's the Mountain Fried Chicken starting attack. We haven't seen Damon Johnson's name a ton, but he's getting offers up and down the Power 4 level. A great tight end.
Very good tight end. I mean, very good. And he's very versatile where he lines up. Guy that can get all over the field. They love to use him and be creative in getting those matchups.
Here's Zymir Peterkin. And if you're wondering, at Mount Tabor, that's a very popular name in town. Zymir's the 3rd brother of JP and Snook Peterkin. Snook now at Virginia Tech. JP, a great quarterback and receiver here at Mount Tabor. But Tymir, the youngest brother, he's getting back to his feet. There is one more Peterkin brother, but he's not playing football anymore.
Yes.
Hey.
I'll tell you what, Evan, I think the amount of players that we've seen over the years doing this, Snook Peterkin had to be one of the most electric guys I think we've seen on the field. On both sides of the football, no less. Really in all 3 phases, because he did returns as well.
1,000-yard receiver and 10 career interceptions. Did a lot of good things. Here's Treadway swinging one out, incomplete. He wanted the deep threat in Toot, Jaquan Clay.
Oak Grove has evolved so much this year, going away from the traditional sense of running the football. Smoke and mirrors, motions, option plays, try to fool the defense, really stress their responsibilities.
Right.
But this year, that deep passing game has allowed them to
story
evolve.
time. Coach told.
As Amir Dalton comes in motion, we have a whistle here and a false start. And keep in mind for Oak Grove, some reinforcements have now joined the program. How about 4-star left tackle J.B. Shabazz, who has offers up and down the ACC. This is his first game at Oak Grove, and he's out there at left tackle.
Well, first game back at Oak Grove. Was currently or previously a Grizzly before making a jump over to East Forsyth.
And look at him blowing up the line of scrimmage. Treadway gets rocked. And with Shabazz back, this offense gets even better on the offensive line.
It sure does. And there is another Spartan down after that hit. May have been some friendly fire there on the outside. It's kind of tough to tell. A lot of guys flying around the football.
Samir Kane back on his feet. Looks like his shoulder a situation there.
Second time we've seen Kane leave the game already this evening. Definitely something to monitor.
And worth noting, with Kane out, it's offensive linemen that fill that void. Mount Tabor not as deep as Oak Grove in terms of depth.
At this point in the year, that makes a massive difference. Got to have more bodies.
Here's 3rd and 15. Treadway faces a blitz. Tough throw and almost picked through the feet of Angelo Moreno. And the senior makes the stop.
I wonder if there was some miscommunication on routes that time. You had 2 Oak Grove receivers down the field that were pretty close to each other and certainly close enough to be in the area where those defensive backs from Mount Tabor can play both routes. You see, there's not a lot of separation between those routes right there, and a ball that hangs that far in the air down the field allows them time to break on it and make a play.
Joseph Malachi back deep. This is a beautiful punt by Fulcher. Malachi works from his 30. He has these, and he splits 2 out past the 45.
Patience, the explosion by JoJo Malachi to get up the field. Really nice job and a good sound return. Doesn't dance a whole lot, just gets upfield and gets positive yards.
As someone getting ready for a wedding next week, Mark, make sure to dance on your wedding night.
Do you know, I've gotten so much advice from that realm. You probably gave me the best and the one that stuck out to me the most. That being, for the love of God, bring multiple shirts.
I wore 3 at my wedding.
I've got 3 or 4 coming with me.
1st and 10 after the punt by Fulcher. And another whistle, pre-snap penalty. Fourth penalty for Mount Tabor tonight.
You can hear Tyshawn down there on the field.
Yeah, you can hear Tyshawn Brown.
Because he knows. I mean, you know what you're trying to do and what they want to do. You've got to stay ahead of the chains and not back yourself up. The self-inflicted penalties are always going to be the worst, but it magnifies with a team like this.
Brown, the 2021 state champ at the 3A level. Here's Doc Hunter on the ground, but another flag after a gain of 5. Jamarius, known as Jock Hunter, with the carry that time. But there is a penalty. More self-inflicted wounds here for Mount Tabor. They had the 80-yard score, but otherwise full of penalties.
Well, and that was on a 3rd and long, Evan. It wasn't like they were in a fortuitous situation where, you know, it's 2nd and short, you open up the playbook, take a shot down the field. I mean, they were still in a situation where they had to get 8 yards to pick up the first down. Now, it works out for them, but you can't constantly rely on that. You have to play consistent up front along the offensive line. Right now, false start and a hold has not helped them at all on this drive.
So Kingston Brown faces first and forever. Have to get to the 45 of Oak Grove. And another whistle. So Jamie Pine's getting his fair share of TV time tonight.
He's shaking his head, too.
That's on the defense.
3 straight penalties. He's like, man, I just want to see a down of football played at this point.
Even Rob Creson's having some questions. Say, where did we miss that? That was on Ben Boulware, the D lineman, who has Power 4 offers up and down the street.
Specimen out there, isn't it?
6'5", 290 at least. He's a 4-star. Here's 1st and 20 after the penalties. Pump fake. Brown scrambling. Look at Kingston Brown getting 10 yards back. 2nd and long coming up.
I think that's the development, though, of a young quarterback. You get in there, it's a guy who's a sophomore, of course, coach's son, but you get in there and you got to get your feet wet. And as you get more reps, you get more confidence and more experience, and the game slows down, you start making better decisions. That was one of those decisions you love to see from a coaching standpoint. Pull the football down, get the yards, and get out of bounds.
Brown is a freshman on the JV team. They went undefeated, and he had a lot of sophomore receivers with him, including JoJo Malachi, Amish Thompson. They're all on varsity together this year. Brown rolls out on 2nd down. He cannot find the completion. And 3rd and long coming up. He wanted Kamori Harvey, another one of those sophomore receivers.
Yeah, a pretty good pass along the sideline, too, Evan. I mean, you're rolling out, feet weren't set, you're on the run. It's a pretty well-thrown ball as well towards the sideline. Tough catch, tough play to make, but you're giving your guys a chance.
Brown, the sophomore, filling in for 2-year starter, Lane Albright. And now you see Brown out at slot receiver. He's going to motion in. A little creativity here from Tyshawn Brown's offense.
Make the Grizzlies think about something.
3-man rush. Brown buying time. There's a catch and a 1st down. Nice conversion to JoJo Malachi, one of those sophomore receivers. How does chemistry play a factor for Mount Tabor's offense?
Well, it builds a lot, but it goes from quarterback to receiver on that play, and there's a lot that goes into it, even in that short amount of time. You take your reads, you look down the field first, you don't see anything, you realize you've got a man cutting across the field. He's wide open, take the safe play that time, pick up the 1st down, and keep the drive moving. Really nice play between those two guys.
This reminds me of Bryce Baker at East Forsyth as a sophomore. Earned the starting job. Now he's at Carolina as a 4-star quarterback. That development early in your career is so important at this level. And here's a whistle. More penalty issues for Tabor, and on this Tabor offense, here's Chelsea Groves.
Yeah, a little story time, a fun father-son dynamic out here on the football field. Coach told us that this goes back to when his son Kingston was just 8 years old, just starting out in tackle football, and Coach couldn't make it to one of his practices one day. And when he got home, his wife said Kingston had been out there taking some quarterback reps because they needed somebody to take the snaps. And he said, so how did he do? And he actually looked pretty good, she said. Then that weekend, he threw 2 touchdown passes, and Coach said, to make the long story short, this guy really is a quarterback. He's the hardest working kid I know. Now a sophomore, he's earned every bit of this opportunity, showing up in big moments on the big stage, really showing that when he was young at just 8 years old. Guys?
Yeah, Chelsea, his last 2 games, it's 5 touchdowns to 1 pick, so he's playing good football, too.
Good play at the quarterback spot, but Kingston Brown is a football player. Don't get it twisted. He'll take off, he'll dish out some hits, he'll get after it, he'll muck it up a little bit. I mean, he's just a guy who loves to play the game of football, and as he builds that experience and that confidence, all that natural ability will come along.
Here's 2nd and 5, quick toss to Mafuth. Mafuth's dancing in the phone booth, and he gets a couple of yards there. 3rd and 4 coming up. Oak Grove has corralled this horizontal passing game.
Well, they got to stay cognizant of exactly where Mafuth is on the field at all points of time. He is the guy that is the most dangerous threat on this offense, hands down. And so far, it's the first completion to him. Another pass attempt on the first drive was knocked down. So they're doing a nice job of covering up 0 in blue and gold.
Taking a pack of Grizzlies on the stop. Aiden Murphy, the tackle. Final 2 minutes of this first quarter. Mafuth has it. Mafuth sneaks past Bradley Bird and breaks loose. There's Mafuth. Another one for Mafuth. This guy's unstoppable. 35-yard escape for the touchdown.
There's just some guys you need to get the football to. And Jaden Smith Mafuth is one of them. He is a gamer out here. Last year against Davie County, he has 3 touchdowns. The last time we saw him here on Friday Night Rivals, and this time, the end around, breaks a tackle, great blocking down the field along the perimeter. And from there, it's the athletic ability, the straight line speed, and the dive for a little bit extra flair.
Jaden Mafuth, 8th touchdown of the year. That's ran home with a triad touchdown. Pretty creative from 30. And another whistle. We've had a lot of those tonight. Will be the 8th penalty of the game.
Last year it was Snook Peterkin, it was Jadon Blair, rightfully so. Guys that go to Virginia Tech and Notre Dame respectfully. But you knew there was another guy waiting in the wings. Mafuth announces himself last year against Davie County, and he's been riding on that high ever since. He has become the best weapon on this offense, hands down.
I sure hope he wins Homecoming King tonight. We'll find out at halftime. Extra point coming from James Price, and that one slips through. To be Jaden Mafuth right now, this guy on TV is electric every time we see him.
Sure is. He has a knack for showing up when we're in town, makes this defense pay, and finds Pater yet again. I cannot emphasize, though, the blocking down the field by his linemen and by his fellow receivers on the outside. Just an excellent job staying on your guys, giving him a chance. And when he saw an alley after breaking that initial tackle, it was game over from there. You're not going to catch Jaden Smith Mafuth in the open field.
In a lineage of Power 4 receivers here at Mount Tabor the last 3 years. I think back to last year's team, not just the 6-1 record in league. They had 9 guys playing college, which is impressive at the high school level. Coach Brown said Mafuth is going to play somewhere next year.
Oh, 100%. Look, you and I both know there's several divisions throughout college football. If you can play the game, someone will find you. It does not matter. I mean, we're adamant about Mitchell Summers finding a spot that
How about him at Sacred Heart, one of the FCS Players of the Week.
And exactly, and he was highlighted on College Game Day last week. I mean, this is a kid that worked his butt off in high school, and he plays football. And he's a great football player. They will find you, and Jaden Smith Mafuth has a name for himself. He has a spot in college. You just got to find the right opportunity and roll with that.
Coach Brown calls him a jack of all trades. Through the 2-point play, he scored a touchdown. He's been the difference maker for Mount Tabor tonight. And now Oak Grove gets the football back after the James Price kickoff. Or pardon me, the Liam Conway kickoff. Liam goes short. That's returnable. This is Jaden Glenn. And Glenn hits his own man at the 30. That's where Oak Grove gets the football.
So it looked like Oak Grove off to a nice start. They get the first touchdown of the night. The passing game, they're running the football at will. They're establishing themselves along the line of scrimmage. And now just like that, 15-0 run for the Spartans of Mount Tabor. So now the response from Oak Grove has to be swift. They've got to get into the end zone.
First time trailing in league play this year for Oak Grove. McFadden has the football, and he'll churn out 3 yards on first down.
Still a solid run. Get those on first down, especially here early on in the game. Those will build over time throughout the course of the game. Oak Grove knows that.
I love those helmets. The Grove, a high school program, just 8 years in existence, very young. But they've made the third round of the playoffs the last 2 years. Here's a timeout for Mount Tabor in the final minute of this first quarter.
Got to tell you, the contrast tonight in colors, probably one of our better looking games of the year, aesthetically speaking.
For Mount Tabor, it's their first time wearing gold on gold at home this year. It's a great look. And then Oak Grove with those vintage Bear Blues.
I really got to tell you, the pants almost fade away a little bit on TV. It doesn't do them a lot of justice from what we see here on the field.
And Rob Creason brings up a great point. I wish at the high school level, and Q Tucker, if you're listening, we could have a conversation about some flexibility with road jerseys.
Look.
And not matching colors, but some room for.
Like, there's so much contrast here. Like, if you have just blue against gold here, I mean, it's USC, UCLA, the Holy War with BYU and Utah. I mean,
which
those
is coming
are
up
teams.
this Saturday. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they always go color on color against each other. It creates for a beautiful atmosphere. It's really awesome to see. And most importantly, you don't get confused about who's who. You know exactly who is who and playing for which team.
Two programs that have never met in the regular season. They're putting on a show in this first quarter. Here's Amir Dalton in motion. Dalton gets the rock. Dalton slips one. Can't get past two. Look at Jesse Wallace jumping on the pile. He's got some Randy Reigns, WWE. Like, he's a big dude. He makes plays. He's playing with a bad wrist.
Right, he gets out there. One of those guys, they got back from injury. That's made a huge difference here in the last 3 weeks. But look at the pursuit there. He spins away. If he gets away from that one, I mean, he might still be running for a little bit down the field, so you really got to give a lot of credit that time. Just getting in there by Jesse Wallace and making that play, the pursuit matters.
Jesse Wallace with that wrist injury, he hadn't played in the last 3 weeks. Tyshawn Brown was almost as happy about his son as he was about Jesse Wallace back on defense.
He's been giddy, especially getting back the injuries they had earlier in the season along that defense. Those guys, for the most part, are back, and they are making a difference.
Here's 3rd and 5. Tunnel screen incomplete. And there was blocking there. So that goes through Clay's hands. Here's a 4th down.
Tough play. I mean, you had the screen set up that time. Nice tunnel screen to the inside. Maybe it was just a little bit too far out in front that time. But Clay, realistically, second time tonight, we've seen a ball go straight through his hands on a gimme.
Treadway, 4 of 7 passing, but some penalties have backed up Oak Grove tonight. Here's Fulcher, the booming punter. Another beauty. But returnable, Malachi stretches it out. Oh, he's going to cut it back, Adoree Jackson style.
Hello.
And Oak Grove's all over it. We'll stay here with just 30 seconds left in the first quarter.
Just think the way that these two teams are made up. Mount Tabor has the athletes where even if they have the penalties and the drawbacks, they can make up for that in a hurry. I don't know that Oak Grove has the same level of athlete that Mount Tabor does. They do a great job of executing. As long as they do that, they're going to help themselves out. But if you're talking about those longer, less fortuitous situations you go into with down and distance, Mount Tabor is better built to handle those.
Kingston Brown goes to work. He throws the screen. Oh, double pass. Thompson heaves. Oh, got ball, then almost caught.
Hello.
I think the wind knocked that pass down way incomplete. And you see the confusion from Jalen Davis. He's like, that wasn't for me.
No, it wasn't.
That was supposed to be down the field.
Way down the field.
And Angelo Moreno's like, yeah, no, that was for me, not for you.
I just wonder if he catches that football, and he is probably expecting to have more time to gather himself and step into it. He had to catch it and throw it pretty quickly. It just kind of fluttered out of his hands. That was a wounded duck.
Instead of a trick down, it's 2nd and 10. Back-to-back scoring drives from Mount Tabor, living through the passing game. Kingston Brown, 96 yards in this first quarter. Here's 2nd down. quick out route, missing his target. And this Oak Grove defense, they've been stingy against these routes to Tayshawn James and little crossing routes.
And it's a tough throw to the outside, especially at the high school level. Defenders sitting underneath. You got to put that football way out there for your receiver to go get it. Probably fortunate that it was as wide as it was, because if it's not, you're giving the defender a chance to make a play on the football. That bottom of your screen with Mafuth and Davis lined up. Dangerous. Oak Grove has to watch what's going on along the Mount Tabor sideline.
Four-man rush on third down. A lot of time. Brown dancing. Kingston buys more time. He heaves a prayer. Incomplete. The creator, Kingston Brown. And that's a 30-second possession. 3 incompletions and 3 and out.
Right, exactly. Not running the football, just trying to play the passing game. It's been working so far for the most part, and especially when Kingston Brown gets time to scramble and let the defense break down. He's very good at finding his guys down the field. Just couldn't find anyone further down the field this time.
This brings out the punting unit. James Price, who's an all-conference punter a year ago, averages 30 yards a boot. Amir Dalton waits for it. And that punt will do just that, 33 yards, and that ends the first quarter. 45 minutes later, a lot of offense here. Oak Grove and Mount Tabor. Body blows in Winston-Salem. We got a fun first 12 minutes of play. Don't go anywhere on My 48 Sports. Ten-4. Love to see smiling faces. We're back with tonight's winning row. Everyone in that row will get tickets to the ice skating rink at the fairgrounds that opened this week. Visit winston-salem-fairgrounds.com for dates and times.
Ooh, those nice yellow foam fingers.
Homecoming weekend here at Mount Tabor. We're just outside of downtown Winston-Salem. Here's Grayson Treadway going to work, and he's tripped up. No gain on first down.
Best case scenario for that Mount Tabor defense. Treadway pulls the football down. Not a big rushing threat, or at least not as big as they have been in the past. Certainly something that Connor Creech was very good at, running the football.
Connor Creech was a 7,000-yard player between passing and running.
Man could play some football. Just Grayson Treadway's a different animal. More throwing the football than he is at speed on the edge.
Treadway fumbles the snap, and that's going nowhere. How about the pursuit of Samir Kane? And that play's ruled dead inside the 20. Tabor's defense thinks they have a fumble recovery. and they'll quickly get the change of plans.
And that one's on Chandler Hanna, your center. You got to get the football back. It rolls back, throws off the timing of the play. Everyone goes into a little bit of a scramble drill that time, and really once the defensive line gets back there, I mean, there's a huge push right in the middle.
That was impressive to get the ball to Amir Dalton.
Yeah. I mean, really, again, calm and composure. Treadway finds it, picks it up, at least hands the ball off. But at that point in time, Hanna was basically sitting in their lap after the botched snap.
There's 3rd and 15 and another whistle. A defensive timeout for Mount Tabor.
I like the timeout here, Evan. Because you talk about it, 3rd and long situation. You've already seen a deep pass connect in this game for Oak Grove for a touchdown. So you just want to make sure you got everyone where they're supposed to be. They understand their assignment, exactly where they're supposed to be going, who they're covering.
Well, we have a moment. This game being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys. Tip Top Roofing's helping out with that. Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Football Roofing. These live streams have been great because everyone across the country can watch.
Yep. Had some really great games to call. Started at the very beginning of the season with a potential FNR all-timer between West Charlotte and Grimsley.
Our most viewed game ever. Could be tonight if you guys keep watching. During the 4th quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm's out and those red lights are flashing. Helping my drive over here today. And at the halftime of this week's Medical Minute, NCHSAA is helping us out, managing the delivery of health and human-related services for all North Carolinians. 10 minutes to go before halftime. Oak Grove facing 3rd and 15. Treadway the toss. And Amir Dalton, scrambling for his life, gets pushed out after a gain of 6. Good pursuit. Samir Kane's been everywhere.
Yeah. You can see the kind of impact he has on the defense. Just getting out there, playing on the edge, uses that speed. You talk about a guy that's 6'3", 270 pounds. He can move. Laterally, he gets down the line, does a great job there, sniffing that play out, and forcing it out of bounds.
Another stop for Samir Kane. He's been a terror in the eyes of Tyshawn Brown since the bye week. Unblockable in conference. As Fulcher booms another kick. Malachi dancing from the 25. There's a man flying. Malachi gets the corner. He gets a block. And Malachi into Oak Grove territory. I think Mount Tabor got away with a block in the back.
Oh, they may have gotten that, but they didn't get away with a blindside block late in that play.
And Tyshawn Brown's pleading his case.
Yep. Number 13 for Oak Grove, Graham Binkley, was trying to cover that punt. Kind of got chipped just going down the field. The flag came out at that point in time.
So that penalty backs up Mount Tabor. When we come back, the Spartans have the football. 1 touchdown game here in the 2nd. Stay here for our My 48 game of the week when we return to Winston-Salem. Welcome back to Winston-Salem. Stay tuned for our My 48 halftime report. We got some fun stuff. Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes, interviews with the principals, the programs, and much more. My 48 Sports, your home for local sports. Pretzel stacking contest. I always got to factor in that one.
When are we going to do that? Like, we should do that from here in the booth, right? Seamless halftime transition.
Our great producer, Lori Bates, just reminded us the fair's over, so no more pretzel stacking. But next year, you and I will do it next year. Here's Kingston Brown out of a punt and a timeout. He feeds Jock Hunter. Jock's tripped up immediately. That's Bradley Bird, one of the tackle leaders in the state. This is a kid who's only a junior. His dad actually attended Ledford, the cross-school rival. He's now at Oak Grove making plays every week.
Absolute thoroughbred at that linebacker spot. Maybe doesn't have the measurables, only 5'10", 185 pounds. But again, we talked about with Mafuth, if you can play football, they will find you. When you have those kind of stats, they back up.
2 years ago, Bird was a freshman calling the plays on defense in a playoff game against West Henderson. He has shined ever since.
And that shows the intelligence just on the football field. You have a kid like that, comes in, new system as a freshman, and just takes the reins immediately.
His defense gets a stop at 2nd and 9. Kingston Brown goes back to Hunter. Nice hit on the outside, gain of 5 that time. And what Bradley Bird's doing at this level as a junior, impressive. We think back to last year, some great defensive players in the state. Jadon Blair, who played right here for Mount Tabor, he was a 4-star safety. To have that leadership, that veteran ability, there's not a ton of college offers for Bird, but this guy is going to make a difference for Oak Grove.
Yet. Again, when you start putting the tape on, again, you kind of put it past in with the measurables. When you scouts come to games and you start thinking, like, man, who's this dude filling out the stat sheet, just getting tackle after tackle? They notice that. And it will start to wear on them like, hey, we keep watching this other guy, but we can't help but notice the linebacker in the middle of this defense. It's going to build up over time.
Here's a 6-man rush. Brown to a knee, and that play's ruled dead. In high school, if you hit the ground with the football, it's a dead ball. So it's now 4th and long.
Yeah.
In college, you can keep playing, but at the high school level, it's dead right here.
Seems down, yeah, and just trying to get the football up, and you knew it right away. A little bit of a low snap, has to try to go down and get it. Unfortunate circumstance that time for Kingston Brown.
Tyshawn Brown is one of our favorites. He always has a way to have fun with the officials, even when he knows, hey, I know that the call's right, but I'll just keep it honest with you. He likes to keep it real.
Always has. Every single time we talk to him, whenever we're calling any of the Tabor games, one of the absolute best, just not just giving us info, but just an all-around great guy on the sideline.
Another flag. This has the makings of Mount Tabor's 6th penalty. And delay game will back it up another 5 yards. That was the bugaboo for Tabor last year, despite the 8-win season, a high penalty team. They lost in the first round of the playoffs to Independence.
And even though they had Peterkin, they had Blair back there, they weren't a great passing team. Lane Albright was a very good quarterback for Mount Tabor, but more of the rushing.
Oh, no! That snap will lead to a safety and a kick into the end zone. That's all James Price could do.
One of the things they talk about, basic coaching stuff, you can't let the mistakes pile on top of each other and just continue to build. That time the penalty throws everything off, and then they snap over the head. All you could do is kick the ball out of the back of the end zone.
Yeah, no chance there for James Price. I think Mount Tabor, the last 3 years, they've been within one score of winning the Central Piedmont.
Yep.
A loss in each year by basically a 2-point play in both games.
And realistically, Evan, they've been, for the last several years, punching up. I mean, you're talking about teams with just bigger rosters, both physically and just number-wise. And you're going up against teams like East Forsyth, West Forsyth, Reagan, every single year in your conference. And Tyshawn even told us, look, we're happy that we're standing eye level with our conference now as far as roster size, everything across the board. And I think it's more exciting to see them in this position because they're not that far removed from winning a state title.
2021 at the 3A level, which is now essentially the 6A level.
Right.
They beat Weddington at the time, who's now emerged as a great program.
One of the state's best down there south of Charlotte.
Weddington got a huge transfer in Katie Cotton down from West Charlotte over to Weddington. They look to be a dangerous threat in the new 7A conference. And now, because of the safety, they actually have to punt the ball the other way, which tricked Mount Tabor. They were all on the far side of the field.
Weird circumstance. Not a whole lot of times you're going to see safeties at the high school level. Certainly of that caliber as well.
So we'll run it back. James Price is like, now this is a ball I can punt. No high snaps to worry about. I just get to boom this ball away.
Yeah, no rush.
Self-start.
Yep.
Just nobody go offside.
It's all on you.
There you go. Dies at the 35. Here's Dalton. And Dalton gets good field position out near midfield. Well, Mark, the game has turned into a punt fest. How does Oak Grove find their rhythm offensively?
Well, where's the deep passing game gone? That's where I'm trying to figure out. You got to start taking some of those shots down the field. We've seen it that these DBs on both sides, I don't know straight line-wise if they can keep up with some of these receivers, and certainly the deep passing attack, Jaquan Clay, cashes in for their only score of the night, at least touchdown-wise.
What a stop defensively. That's Tayshawn James coming in. This is his 19th tackle of the year.
Comes off the edge that time. They leave him alone. Almost seems like he's the read man on this play. Treadway's got to hand it off or keep it himself. That time hands it off, and it was going nowhere. Really nice job by James to track that one down.
James, a first-year starter. He was on the JV team last year. So many young faces on this Mount Tabor defense. But they're able to corral the running game. Blake Atkins gets a yard. 3rd and 11 coming up.
And Tabor's done such a nice job of turning their season around here the last 3 weeks. And you've pointed out several times already, Evan. Sophomore, freshman, across the board. It's a young team, and they're only going to get better with the more reps they get.
Here's 3rd and long. Oak Grove just 1 of 5 on 3rd down. They've struggled, and their 1 3rd down was a touchdown. Treadway with time. Treadway throws it short. Nice catch. That's Cam Canaday, and he gets the first. Little shovel pass left.
Really love getting their guys in space, just working underneath, and it's going to be well short of the 1st down. But when you find that space and you can turn those shoulders upfield on the run like that with a wide open sideline, that's what you're trying to draw up. Really nice job by Treadway staying alive on that play, moving around the pocket, finding his receiver.
Tip-top roofing 1st down. McFadden lowers the shoulder. And there's Oak Grove 4 straight possessions, 3 and out. That's got to reinvigorate your offense.
Yeah, and it gives you a sense of rhythm, and that's really what you want to build across the board.
Rob Creason's offense, last 3 weeks, 40-plus points. They've had no trouble moving the football. Finally converting a 3rd down. Back to McFadden. And he takes the pile with him. Right at the sticks, 3rd and short. Now, was there some late altercation? Bennett Blaney and McFadden having a chat.
I think they're letting this one ride a little bit.
Very physical matchup.
And these officials understand this is a game that has great importance in the conference. There's going to be a little more chippiness tonight, a little bit more tension. You can feel a little bit of the intensity in the air.
The winner of this game in prime position to win the new Piedmont Triad Conference. McFadden gets popped, but he gets a first. Nice hit from Zymir Peterkin, who's back in the game. Now, Zymir doesn't have the speed of Snook or JP, but he can lay the wood.
Yeah, not quite yet, but look here, just zones that one up, and man, if one of his teammates doesn't catch him, he's knocked back. Still gets the 1st down, but that is a vicious hit.
Put all 165 into that hit. Here's a red zone trip in the Cook Reynolds red zone, play action. Treadway goes short, nice catch. Toot, stays in bounds, touchdown, Oak Grove. Jaquan Clay with his 2nd score of the night. What an impressive drive. 3rd down conversions, and there's the touchdown.
Grayson Treadway does a great job of not running this play too soon. He sees his man coming across the formation. It's Clay. Just waits it out, lets him clear, and as soon as that pressure comes, he dumps the football off, and Clay is a great enough athlete with that straight line speed to fly into the end zone for the touchdown.
2 3rd down conversions after 4 straight punts. It was a tough start, but Treadway with his 17th touchdown of the year. And here's Eli Fulcher, who sneaks it through, 2-point game here in the last 5 minutes of the half.
Just lets it clear this time. Clay flares out into the flat. Really nice job getting him the football, and for the 2nd time tonight, Toot finds his way into the end zone.
Welcome back to Mount Tabor High School. Coming off the Grayson Treadway touchdown, his second of the game, and Coach Greason told us in recent years their offense has really leaned in on one or two playmakers, but this season it's really just been all about spreading the ball around like we just saw on that drive. And he said he's been in constant communication with offensive coordinator Jared Rolfs, just checking in to see if everybody's getting involved. Hey, can he get a touch here? Who hasn't had the ball here in a couple of plays? Really comparing it to almost like a pitch count, keeping a mental tab throughout the game to make sure the guys are just getting the ball and being playmakers. Guys.
Thanks, Chelsea. It's 8 different players who've touched the rock tonight. There's a lot of balance. But Toot's been the man, 2 touchdowns.
I think it's pretty interesting, though, that they do keep something, like Chelsea said, like a pitch count almost. There's a lot of teams at all levels of football that you think, okay, well, we got a couple different playmakers. You want to get them the football. And then there's games where they don't get the football. I mean, it's just crazy. You have guys. Last night's a great example of that. Cincinnati Bengals have a guy in Jamar Chase you can't cover. So what do? They target him 21 times. He catches the ball 16 of them. I mean, it just goes to show when you've got players that you know can do something with the football in their hands, you want to get them the football. And if you have multitude of those guys, got to make sure that you're distributing it evenly to make sure they're getting their touches and having a chance to operate.
Good balance for Oak Grove early. That safety's now the difference. And there was a penalty after the kick. That's why the ball's here at the 45 of Mount Tabor. And I think Oak Grove's trying to figure out how they kick this.
Fighting every urge in me to just not say with your foot.
Kick it straight.
It's a good way to do it.
Remember, in high school, if the ball goes in the end zone, it's at the 20. Let's see what Fulcher decides. A pooch. And a fumble picked up by Malachi. And he's spun down. That's great field position for the Oak Grove defense.
Almost got a little weird there at first. JoJo Malachi's there to make that play after the muff initially.
That's Chris Hook with the tackle.
But, man, really nice job. Smart play by Oak Grove, too. Just pop the football in the air, and your return team is so close already on that play. Let them go down there and cover that one up.
And which team could sustain a long drive in this game? It's been punt, 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 safety. And then the touchdown for Toot, Jaquan Clay. Here's Kingston Brown, who's 3 of 7 passing. His 2 catches have gone 40-plus yards. He's been explosive. Brown works to Mafuth. And Bird blows it up. There's the rest of the defense. Again, Bradley Bird sniffing it out.
And just finds the ball, gets to the football.
How's this kid not have an offer somewhere is my question.
There's just certain things you can't teach, Evan. And at the linebacker spot, when you can consistently find the football, and not just find it, but get to it, there's just certain things, again, that you just can't coach. It's the innate ability to play a position, and it sure seems like Bradley Bird has that in him.
The anchor of this defense, he's already at 50 tackles in 6 games. This guy's been unreal. Has his 5th stop of the night. Now play action. Kingston rolls out. Kingston running out of time. There's a flag late. And what a snag. JoJo Malachi, but let's see. The flag might negate this, and here's some pushing and shoving. They did rule that incomplete. And a holding will bring it back regardless. I do want to see that catch again. I think he was in bounds.
Yeah, it sure looked like it from our vantage point. And the arc on that pass, no less, to get it over the top of a defender and just lay it out there.
Oh, that is absolutely a catch.
Now, here's the one thing, though. It looked like JoJo Malachi put his foot out of bounds.
Oh, and then came back in.
Right, when he jumped up in the air, he was out of bounds initially. But, man, the effort to go and make a play like that. Good call by the officials, but the effort there is incredible.
In college, that's a catch. In high school, a little tougher. We got the second foot in, too.
That's an NFL catch.
Yeah, here's 3rd and long now with the penalty. Mafuth in motion, buying time. Brown, a little too hot on the fastball, incomplete, wanting Angelo Moreno.
Sometimes when you're on the move, the ball tends to sail in that direction. That time, tough throw to the sideline. Oak Grove playing underneath defensively as well as over the top. And it would have taken an otherworldly effort along the sideline by his receiver to make that play, get down in bounds, and pick up the first down.
So with that, the punting unit that's been very busy. Third punt for Mount Tabor. The last punt went in the end zone. Boy, is James Price just holding his breath. If this snap goes in his general direction.
Deja vu.
Good snap that time. Amir Dalton chases, and the ball keeps rolling. That punt goes 50 yards. And then Dalton spun down at the 45.
Well, he thought he was still up. He was still running.
Yeah, despite Amir Dalton's effort, he's ruled down.
Evan, I got to tell you, not very often, I'll be honest with you, borderline ever do we come into a game and I'm sitting here thinking, this is some really good punting. I mean, we've seen some pretty well-placed and well-kicked punts tonight.
Well, remember James Price, he's second in the state in average punting. It's our friend Connor Dunn at North Davidson that leads the state. 48 yards a punt, and his brother, Chris Dunn, punted at NC State, won the Ray Guy Award. Here's the running game. And McFadden yet to break one loose, just 5 yards that time.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, only here on FNR are you getting punting stats, achievements, and academics.
As a brother of a punter, we will talk punting on these broadcasts.
That's okay.
We're about punting. We've had 8 of them tonight. Here's McFadden again. McFadden hits a pop. He's going to get way more than 5 that time. There's a 10-yard rush.
He's going.
Make it 15. The pile's still pushing. Nice run by Kamari McFadden. He gets to the 36.
Maybe it's the 22, Evan. I don't know, but it just seems like there's this Najee Harris quality. Just going down the field to McFadden. Look at the shoulder right there. Just takes the hit from Peterkin this
Look
time.
At how many players it takes to stop him.
And the line getting behind him, it just keeps those feet churning down the field.
Tip-top roofing first down. Here's Dalton. Amir cuts it loose. Another broken tackle, and Peterkin pushes him out after an explosive run of 15.
Well, that's starting to blow up a little bit now. They're running the football well. They're getting down the field, getting vertical, and the speed of these backs is making this Mount Tabor defense pay on the edge.
An injured Mount Tabor player. And now tempo can really play a factor. You see Tabor getting back to its feet for one of the guys. Rob Creason coming in, checking on the player. So that's Tartan Thacker, one of the better edge rushers here for Mount Tabor.
Yeah.
He's kind of penguin walking. He's waddling his way back. One of the more adorable flightless birds. You ever seen on Nat Geo those Antarctica specials where they just follow the penguins around all day?
Oh, yeah. And it's the same thing all the time. I mean, I love animals, you know. You say, hey, you want to go to a zoo? Absolutely.
Let's go to Asheboro.
But a lot of the penguins are all the same.
I think the Madagascar movies really elevated our opinion of penguins.
Oh, man, let me tell you what. Rico.
The New York Giants! Here are the Oak Grove Grizzlies, now in the Cook Reynolds red zone. Grayson Treadway, he'll flip it out. Here's Dalton, juking past one. And now, Mark, here come the big chunk plays of 5-6 yards.
Yeah, and it's not those massive runs. We saw one on the last play from scrimmage, really nice run. But, again, it's those runs that go 3 or 4 yards. You get into the second half, you start turning into 5, 6, 7, 8-yard chunks, and it wears down a defense.
We have another whistle here. I think there's a player down. Now, this is something in the college game. We've seen some rule changes about tempo.
Yep.
And I don't know the injury status of number 2, Jalen Davis, but there is a discussion to be had about making sure players are healthy, but also not exaggerating certain things.
Yep, try to slow the momentum of an offense. There were some circumstances that flared up earlier this year at the college ranks, as you alluded to, Evan. Clemson and Syracuse, a famous.
Well, I think Rob Creason has a point. That was very late in the play, too.
It was.
We certainly hope Jalen's okay. He'll have to sit out this next play, though. That is part of the punishment. Both training staffs taking a look. Well, coming up, Mark, we have the My 48 halftime report. Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes, interviews with the coaches, schools, principals, all that good stuff. My 48 Sports, your home for local sports. Gave us some time to get a little read in there.
Yeah.
We've had some time in this first half.
We have. There's been some spots. I mean, we've covered a lot of different things, right? Punting.
Penguins.
Yeah, Madagascar. Not the country, the movie.
Davis will be out for a moment.
And hopefully for Mount Tabor, especially offensively, he is okay. Had the 80-yard touchdown catch earlier. So big play, or a big player in their passing game.
Grayson Treadway, 2 touchdown passes to Jaquan Clay. Now it's play action. Going short route, Amir Dalton. Dalton to the corner, touchdown, Oak Grove. Second straight time Oak Grove's drawn up that perfect play on the crossing route.
It's the same exact play, just played differently by Mount Tabor this time. And it cashes in yet again. This time it's Amir Dalton on the edge, but
what's the flag?
there is a flag on the far sideline.
This could be on the defense.
Well, Grove certainly seems to think that it is.
Oh, no. Oh, so the touchdown will count. Ineligible after the play. Unsportsmanlike, I mean.
But it's the same exact play. 2 times in a row, it cashes in from distance. First time, Clay gets in. This time, it's Amir Dalton, the beneficiary.
No fancy nickname for Amir, but it's his 4th touchdown of the year. And with typical slot receiver Lathan Pruitt out this week, Dalton filling some nice shoes. There's an extra point to make this a 2-score game, and there you have it. 24-15 late in the first half.
Said it earlier, this is an offense where it's death by 1,000 cuts. They will just take play after play after play. It's nothing fancy a lot of the time, but it's the execution that makes them so great at what they do. See, flaring out, comes across the formation, does Dalton just wide open in the flat that time.
And it's Oak Grove who gets the football to start the second half.
Right, so you're almost looking at a 2-for-1 opportunity here potentially. And the way this defense is playing right now, you got to have that expectation that maybe you get the football back and you're going to try to go in one more time to get a touchdown before the half.
5 plays, 55 yards. And how about Grayson Treadway? 18 passing touchdowns this year. He's exploded as a second-year starter.
Yeah, he sure has. And only 4 interceptions alongside that as well. So he's done a great job taking what the defense gives you, executing within the offense. You had the 1 deep touchdown pass to start, but again, the last 2 plays, just being patient, waiting for the defense to react, and you just toss a football out into the flat and get it into a playmaker's hands.
Not just a busy week here in the high school ranks. College football up and down. ABC 45 this week in your local station. How about Georgia Ole Miss? That'd be a fun one.
Between the hedges. Good SEC matchup there, especially the one on the bottom seems like an annual ranked matchup now.
With 10 in the top 25 in the SEC. But don't sleep on number 1, Ohio State. And then, of course, one of the best quarterbacks in football right now. Baker Mayfield takes on maybe the best team in football, the Detroit Lions, Monday at 7 Eastern, part of a Monday night doubleheader.
How about the cast-off bowl right there? Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff.
You mean the Browns-Rams matchup doesn't fire you up back in their original days?
Man, the Browns just continue to brown, don't they?
Well, Joe Flacco just won a game
Not for the Browns.
2 different teams in the same division, which I'm not sure has happened in a while, at least in the same year.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Eli Fulcher, one of our special team standouts of the first half, boots this away with a 9-point lead. That kick will go out of bounds, so really good field position for Mount Tabor. They'll start at the 40.
And certainly does not help the chance to get another possession here, potentially with good field position, if you are Oak Grove. But first thing first, you got to get this offense of the Spartans back off the field. Did a really good job, though, of making sound tackles in the open field here in the last several drives. They have not given Mount Tabor a whole lot to look at offensively.
Wait, they're electing to re-kick, which well, that is one option.
Yeah.
You do back it up 15 yards.
And you have to make them re-kick.
But you do get the ball at the 40-yard line if not.
Potentially.
Okay, well, we'll chalk that up as let's see how it unfolds.
I kind of like the thought of it, though. I mean, your guys are back at just shy of the 30. Now they moved up a little bit. They're closer to the 40.
I guess you're betting against the leg of Eli Fulcher, who's drilled a 50-yarder in his career from the field goal side. Okay, Eli, let's see how strong that leg is. The senior sends it away. Kick goes to the 20. Malachi gets back to the original line and then gets more. Malachi versus the kicker. There goes Tabor and a tackle to save it. Okay, good decision to re-kick.
Yeah, not too bad. It worked out that well. Fulcher, though, nice job from that kicker position.
But a flag back in midfield.
It looked like there were two different Spartans on top of an Oak Grove player trying to block down the field and holding him down to the ground.
Unsportsmanlike, so that's not even related to a hold. That's after the play.
Right.
That's inexcusable if you're Mount Tabor. Because that block doesn't prevent the return.
Right. So it should go back to where the play finished.
And then 15
And then
yards.
you bring it back 15 yards.
Yeah, even still, you go from what could have been inside the 20. Now you're in a little different spot.
Right. All right, so you're going to see kind of the top of the screen here. Or maybe it's just out of the frame. Good return, though, by JoJo Malachi. Really nice job, special team line blocking there, but Eli Fulcher making the play to save a touchdown. Saves a touchdown. You have the 15-yard penalty at the end of the run as well.
It's the 8th penalty for Mount Tabor, and we're barely at halftime. Eli Fulcher going, kickers are athletes too.
Yep. It's been a special teams extravaganza here in the first half. A really quality play from that phase of the game. Now, all that being said, Mount Tabor has the football in plus territory. Really good plus territory at that. Still inside the 35. With just over 2.5 minutes left to work with. The one timeout, that doesn't even matter that much. You just got to execute here on offense and get something into the end zone.
Kingston Brown, 5 straight incompletions. His Tabor offense is settled for back-to-back punts. First play goes to Hunter. Breaks out of a tackle, gain of 3 as the clock hits 2.5 minutes.
So one thing of this offense, Evan, that we're not used to seeing throughout the years of what Mount Tabor does, they just haven't run the football as effectively as they have in years past. They've got a couple good runners back there. Dillard, Hunter, as you just saw, tote the rock. But they have not been able to break loose.
Last year it was Zion Thompson who ran like his mom's life depended on it. That was the quote from the coaching staff. Zion, a 1,000-yard rusher. There's a quick pass to Mafuth, and he can't get out of a tackle. Nice pursuit by the secondary, Jace Woodard on the stop, and then a flag. Let's see if a defensive penalty comes in.
Well, Jace Woodard did a really nice job shedding a block to get to Mafuth, and then just hanging on for dear life there for a second, grabbing one leg and not letting go. But is it negated by a penalty?
I understand the letter of the law with that penalty, but I don't necessarily, right, like the player gets held up and then there's a late hit.
Yeah.
But the play's not dead officially.
Right.
Especially with how Mafuth is elusive. It does negate the penalty yards of the earlier penalty.
It's
And maybe that's kind of all fair.
In layman's terms, it's hard to tell a football player to stop playing football.
And now Tyshawn Brown has questions. If he had the over-under at 14 first-half penalties, you'd be living large in Vegas.
Congratulations.
So Kingston Brown goes to work. 2 minutes left in the half. Brown, pump fake. Room here for Moreno, and he gets 5 yards to the 15. Enters the Cook Reynolds red zone. Cook Reynolds running the smart way to get things done.
Again, the clock right now, you got to start hurrying up a little bit, but it hasn't mattered much. Really nice job, though, working inside by Moreno, just getting down, getting those yards, and getting close to the sideline. But the clock continues to run. But still, the clock does not matter here. It's running, but where you're at in the field, it matters little.
Good handoff. That's Malachi. He's going to direct traffic and get the first, and more importantly, get out of bounds with 1:18 left.
You get a guy who returns punts, kickoffs down there, does a really nice job of reading blocks and setting his guys up as well, reads the defense coming down, able to keep the football in his possession, get those yards, and get out of bounds. Really intelligent play that time by JoJo Malachi.
Malachi, one of those sophomores who shined with Kingston Brown last year. Malachi, Brown, Harvey, they've been playing together since they were 8. As Chelsea noted, there's a lot of chemistry. And here's 1st and 10 in the red zone. Brown sends Malachi over there. Kingston keeper, he's dragged down. Nice pursuit. Daniel Honeycutt, the senior D lineman, who's a 4.5 GPA student.
Another really smart football player on that side of the football for Oak Grove. Has a bevy of them over there, but just look at the play down the line. It's assignment football. Honeycutt realizes that his man, Kingston Brown, keeps that football and just commits to it immediately.
Face mask. Was that on Honeycutt or another player?
I had to have been on another player.
Half the distance and a first.
Somewhere away from the play, I had to have been.
Let's see.
I wonder if it was there on the edge to get off the block that time.
That is the correct call. I don't love that call.
Yeah.
Final minute of the first half. To the motion man, it's Davis. Jalen needs a block. Jalen dives and is short. Final minute of this first half and not in.
But it does stop the clock, which is interesting if you are Oak Grove. Still those 3 timeouts. Really, Tabor's there. If you don't score, you go down in bounds, just watch that clock run or make them use a timeout to stop it.
That's exactly what Oak Grove does. 2 timeouts remaining.
And I wonder if it wasn't just trying to stop it as much as game plan here on the goal line. Understand where you are.
That's what's going through is Gil Maxwell's defensive coordinating decisions. 3rd year of the D coordinator, 22 turnovers a year ago. Oak Grove has yet to force one tonight. As we hit 9 o'clock here in Winston-Salem, we are in for some trick-or-treating kind of late night festivities.
It's got to be our latest first half game, right? I mean, but you've had teams that have been willing to throw the football, put it in the air. They're getting out of bounds here late. It's definitely been a very entertaining first half in Tabor City.
The home of the 2021 state champs here at Mount Tabor. New divisions. This is a 6A Tabor squad versus a 5A Oak Grove squad. And here's the heavy package right in front of the cheerleaders.
To that point, if you're down here at this spot on the goal line, Tyshawn Brown's the head coach. You want to see your offensive line, your big bodies, get push up front here, muscle this one into the end zone.
1st and goal. And a whistle. Hold on, who moved first? That's on the defense, okay. That'll back it up a couple inches.
Get it a little bit closer.
Battling Ben Boulware, the power forward defensive lineman, to get into the end zone. Here comes the heavy package. Brown, and a touchdown. That one sneaks in. Jaden Smith, his first score of the year.
So not Jaden Smith Mafuth. Just drop off the Mafuth that time. Jaden Smith finds pay dirt and a really nice job of playing opportunistic football. If you're Mount Tabor, you get the good kickoff return. You start in plus territory. You take time off the clock. And most importantly, you get points on the board via a touchdown. Good push up front, steals a couple of guys, and that for Jaden Smith was about as easy as it was going to get.
And now a fumbled snap, so it's a 3-point game on the run home of a triad touchdown. Special team woes here for Mount Tabor.
So there's been a safety in this first half, a couple of botched extra points, some 2-point conversions. All that being said, you have a very traditional looking score.
24-21, just like we drew it up.
Just don't ask us how we got here.
Oh, that kick was blocked.
Boy.
Really good block.
It's funny because it almost looked like, and I didn't catch what number it was.
Yeah, that's Graham Brinkley, the backup QB.
He almost overshot the football that time.
Yeah, that would have been the block of the year, to block it with his back leg, basically.
You get there, and you get excited, and you just take off. I mean, he was in the air. But nice job just getting off the edge, makes the block, keeps the point off the board. And usually that has some level of foreshadowing in it towards the end of the game, almost undoubtedly.
Incredible block.
Yeah.
He almost dove past the ball.
Yeah, he almost missed it because he got there too soon.
So a couple of special team woes here for Mount Tabor.
So 2 timeouts left, 57 seconds. I wonder if Oak Grove goes into this possession thinking about where they are on the kickoff is how they handle this next possession. Get a good return, you get up past the 30, you got those 2 timeouts, about 50 seconds left. You feel good enough about your offense to move the football.
With homecoming festivities in the next minute. Short kick for Liam Conway. Oak Grove staggering its return. Fumble! Oh, and it's turned over. Peterkin scoops it up.
Of course.
Said that name a ton over the last 5 years. It's Zymir Peterkin on the fumble.
And wow. How about that turn of events, Evan? Just getting back on the football. And it certainly seems like they're going to get out past the 30. Oak Grove's going to be set up in really good field possession to start this drive. And it just gets poked out on the hit that time.
That's Nashon Mashak. Great name. He forces the fumble.
Hello. And of course, it's a Peterkin to fall on the football on a special teams play. What a hit to jar that football out. That is as good as it gets, Evan.
That's Zymir Peterkin on the fumble recovery. And now Tabor's rushing their 11th player on the field here before the snap.
Very different drive this time now all of a sudden. 1 timeout to work with.
Brown looks right. There's a receiver. That's Jalen Davis, first down. Clock stops with 40 seconds. The kicking game with Liam Conway has been a little better this year. Now an injured Oak Grove player.
Nice timing pass to the outside defender. Thought he was going to undercut it that time. But Kingston Brown able to use that strong arm, gets the football out there on the edge. A nice pitch and catch along the sideline. Good situational football as well.
In the first quarter, it was the punting fest. In the second quarter, it's the scoring affair. Mount Tabor special teams. They're not a great field goal kicking team. But we'll see if they can put something together here in the last 40 seconds. We have officially our longest first half of FNR this year.
You can see Kingston Brown right there. Number 5, very animated. It's the point of being a young leader in this offense, and a lot of the guys that you've grown up with, you've played alongside. You want to stress that urgency to them so they also understand the situation in this moment in time. You got those 40 seconds left. You're in great position right now, but you have to value every second with the one timeout to work with.
Kingston Brown, son of his head coach, 5 of 11 passing in the first half. Here's Brown on first down and another whistle.
We need a false start.
A lot of self-inflicted wounds. 9 penalties for Tabor, 9 penalties for Oak Grove. Just too many.
These mental mistakes over time just continue to creep up over and over again for Mount Tabor. In a situation like this, you can't afford to lose yards like that. Evan, you mentioned already, the kicking game is not great for the Spartans. You want to get the football into the end zone on this drive.
Here's Brown with time. Kingston goes short. Nice catch for Malachi, and he's tripped up after a short gain of just 4. And now that clock's going quick. Here's second down. Okay, third down upcoming. This feels like 4-down territory then if you're Tabor.
Yeah, I think so, especially if you're able to get this to a really like a 4th and manageable. Think about keeping the offense out there at that point.
Well, here's 3rd and 11. Pressure coming. Brown finds Angelo Moreno, but he's short of the sticks. Decision here.
I mean, he is just short of the sticks. I don't really think there's much of a decision. You got to go for it here. You still have that timeout in your back pocket. Another throw over the top of a defender.
Officially 4th and 1 after the Moreno 10-yard play. Gunnar Klontz, former quarterback in college. He's looking to orchestrate a 2-minute drive for young Kingston Brown, sophomore QB.
Question is here, 4th down, you're Oak Grove. Are you bringing the house and getting that pressure?
Here's the house, and a fumbled snap that turns into a first. How did he do that?
Oh,
JoJo Malachi, and now the clock's running.
I think you got to call a timeout here potentially if you're trying to spike the football.
Now the timeout. 14 seconds left. Remember, that clock does stop on the first down, so then the timeout comes in. You'd probably burn 6-7 seconds trying to snap it if you don't use a timeout.
Watch here on JoJo Malachi, just loses the handle for a second and has the wherewithal just to stay patient, bring the football back in, and stay with the play. But my goodness, that was almost a disaster for the Spartans.
That's the fumble that cost Oak Grove just 30 seconds ago.
Right. So you got to start thinking, you've got 2 locations really to put this football if you're going to continue to throw it. It's either going towards the sideline or you're getting it to the end zone. The clock will stop, of course, to move the first down sticks.
But only for a few seconds.
Right, and you got to get everyone back up to line. At that point, Evan, you're playing with fire. You're 20 yards out, so you've got a lot of different calls in your playbook right now. But going into the end zone with some dynamic route running is not out of the possibility here.
Kingston Brown, late drive, end zone shot. That's pretty good, and a catch. Mafooth, how about that? Second score.
Sometimes you just got to throw the football up there to your receiver and say, go make a play. That time, Jaden Smith-Mafooth finds his way into the end zone, locates the football hanging high in the air that time. Another high pass from Kingston Brown that falls right into the hands of his intended receiver.
Run a home with a triad touchdown. Jaden Smith-Mafooth, his 8th score of the year with 8 seconds left. And now it's 28-24 on the extra point.
Evan, dare I say, we might have a barn burner on our hands here in Tabor City tonight.
How about this throw from Kingston Brown?
Patience, good protection up front, gets there just before the pressure does, is able to fire off a deep pass down the field. Mafooth knows the football is coming his way, finds it in the air, and plays it perfectly against the coverage.
A sophomore growing in front of our eyes. 8th touchdown pass of the year for Kingston Brown. He's got to dab up his buddies. That's Xavier Hill.
Tell you what, for a sophomore, Evan, he looks pretty good. And more importantly, he looks in command of that offense right now. Tell he has the respect of those guys around him.
And what did his dad say this week? I never wanted him to play quarterback.
Yeah, well.
I want him to be a receiver. He needed to be a running back.
Right, yeah, linebacker, whatever it may be. Of course, Tyshawn Brown, hard-nosed coach that he is, once a tough-nosed kid. Doesn't mean he can't play quarterback. Tough football player. Very smart young man as well. Just has a good nose for the game, especially the quarterback position. You can see where that ability is right now. He's just going to continue to develop over time and get better and better.
14 points in about 40 seconds of game time.
After Mount Tabor looked like they were dead in the water. Nothing really to speak of. They score 15 in a row, and all of a sudden, Oak Grove climbs back. They get a 9-point lead, and just like that is flipped back into the Spartans' favor.
Final 8 seconds. A lot has happened to end this half. Liam Conway goes short. And essentially one last stab here for Oak Grove before halftime.
Really nice touch pass into the end zone.
2 feet for good measure.
Yep.
Even the EMTs in the background, they knew it. They said touchdown.
A lot of times you just get a play like that. A lot of different people would just call that a trust ball. You throw it up there and trust your guy to go get it.
Oak Grove electing to end the half here with a kneel down. And that'll end a wild first half. 13 straight for Mount Tabor, who was down 9 in the final 2 minutes. They lead going into break.
Exciting first half. Again, it seemed like ebbs and flows of this game going in different directions. Really seemed like closing out the half, the Grizzlies of Oak Grove had this one in firm control, but a couple of mishaps go against them, and opportunistic football brings a 4-point lead to that Mount Tabor sideline.
We're getting Tyshawn Brown ready for an interview. But a 4-point game here at halftime.
He really wanted to know, Evan, because we hadn't seen Mount Tabor yet this year. No Snook Peterkin, no Jadon Blair out there. The offense may be a little bit tighter. But tonight they've played free, they've played well, and certainly well enough to have that 4-point lead at halftime.
So now we have Chelsea down on the field. Go ahead, Chelsea.
Coach, quite the sequence to end the first half, to take the lead heading into the break. Take us through what you saw in that final minute.
Well, hey, it's all about turnovers, man. That's something that we practice. It was a great job by our kids spiking the ball, getting out of bounds when we had to, and hitting the fade ball. We practice it every day.
And with this momentum, what do you hope to see here in the second half to pull out a win here on homecoming?
Man, we got to have more discipline. We got too many penalties going on. We got to take care of the football, but discipline is the key.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We have more coming up on the My 48 Halftime Report. Stay with us.
Throughout the 2025 Carolina Scholar athletes are from Mount Tabor High School. Mount Tabor's Will Rowe is a varsity football player and was awarded Most Coachable Player in his sophomore JV season. He was also a part of Throughout the 2025 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rival season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes are from Mount Tabor High School. Mount Tabor's Will Rowe is a varsity football player and was awarded Most Coachable Player in his sophomore JV season. He was also a part of the 2024 Indoor Track State Championship team. Will is on the National Honor Society for English, Math, and French, a Crosby Scholar, and was a junior marshal. He also participates in JROTC and volunteers his time with Hope of Winston-Salem. Will currently holds a 4.457 weighted GPA. From Oak Grove High School, Oak Grove's Daniel Honeycutt is a captain of the varsity football team and was named All-Conference and Lineman of the Year for the Mid-Piedmont Conference. He is on the National Honor Society, a Grizzly Paw honoree, and an honor roll student. Dan currently holds a 4.29 weighted GPA and volunteers in the Grizzly Gives program, working with churches, schools, and nonprofit organizations. Will, Daniel, and other nominated students are also eligible to win a $5,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes.
You're watching the My 48 Halftime Report. I'm Chelsea Groves, joined by the Oak Grove principal, Stephanie Stroud. Stephanie, thank you so much for taking some time and joining us here at the half.
Of course.
Now, it's an away game for you tonight, but just tell us how the community comes and supports this team and this school every night.
We have an amazing community. As you can see, our stands are full over there, and they travel with us everywhere we go. It doesn't matter if it's something academics, athletics, or with our fine arts department. Our parents are amazing in our community, and they're always there to support.
Now, is there anything new on campus this year that we want to talk about?
One of the things we're trying to build is our programs with our elementary schools. So actually our football coach, Coach Greason, and my career development coordinator, Carrie Tuttle, they are really building mentoring programs called Guiding Grizzlies, where they're taking our students, athletes into the elementary schools to build those relationships.
You talk about Coach Greason and his impact off of the field as well as on the field. Just tell us more about how he really impacts the school and everybody who he touches.
Since taking over as head coach, he has done a fantastic job. He has really worked hard to build that culture of excellence on the field and off the field. Teaching accountability with our students and with the boys on the team. They're also giving back to the community with our Grizzlies Gives Back, where the boys are going in and helping with different community projects and going back into the elementary schools and helping with their events as well. So he is doing an amazing job.
And it's crazy to think that the fall sports seasons are winding down. The postseason is almost here for football as well as the other fall sports happening. How has the year been going?
So far, it has been great, and we are really enjoying the new conference that we're in this year. Our girls volleyball team, they just won the conference, so we're off to a great start.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for your time and best of luck tonight, and we always enjoy having you on.
Thank you.
That was Stephanie Stroud. We have more coming up on the My 48 Halftime Report. Stay with us.
She is forever grateful to her parents for all they have done.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Is Max Rebish. The long snapper is Kenny Jett. The kick is no good. It's blocked, but then caught by the Red Knights, and they find the end zone. Touchdown, Toronto. Michael Henry got his field goal blocked, caught it, and said, look what I found. Touchdown. In one of the most bizarre football plays you will ever see.
48 yards per score. He's in motion again. They throw behind the line of scrimmage. Double pass. Looking deep. Prince Terrence has it. Give him his crown again.
Right from his own end zone. Powell's got to get rid of it. He does. Throws it long. Has a receiver. And it's a catch by Jackson. Quintrell Jackson. One man to beat. Oh, my goodness. The Golden Gophers score again. Another City of Bessemer touchdown.
Here's Michael to throw. Over the middle. Ball tipped. And intercepted. That is Nicholas Alvarado with the pick.
This is a short kick. Picked up there by Scoop Smith. Reversing field, and he's dragged down. Oh. No, he's still on his feet. Scoop Smith reversing upfield. Look at Scoop. He tricked everyone. 70 yards.
Welcome back to the My 48 halftime report. We have a close one here in Winston-Salem, a 28-24 game at Mount Tabor. Lots coming up here in the second half. It is homecoming night. Stay tuned on the My 48 halftime report. Stay with us.
This week, Mount Tabor students cast their votes for the 2025-2026 homecoming queen. The core nominee with the second highest number of votes will be given the title of Miss Spartan.
Welcome back to the My 48 halftime report. I'm Chelsea Groves, joined by Mount Tabor High School principal Matthew Dixon. Matthew, we just saw some exciting homecoming action here on the field. Just tell us what tonight is like, just with homecoming here on a night like this.
Yeah, it's great. Homecoming's always special, having everybody back on campus, honoring these girls on the homecoming court. It's just been, you can feel the buzz all week with homecoming coming up, and everybody come out tonight with a perfect night and a great game tonight.
And the community here definitely showed up and showed out. Mount Tabor seems like a very special place to be. Just tell us what this school has to offer.
Yeah, Mount Tabor is truly a community. When you walk through our hallways, it's like walking through our city. It's a very representative of our city of Winston-Salem. And so walking through the hallways, it's a great snapshot of the city. You really get a piece of everything. And we're 1,500 kids strong here at Tabor City, doing a lot of great things, a great arts program, strong academics, and as you can see on the football field, strong athletics as well.
Now, with you being new to Mount Tabor, what has stood out to you in your time here so far?
what's really stood out is what you can see here tonight is the community that comes and supports us right here in the middle of the city. There's a lot of history here and a lot of alumni that come back, and you go through the city and everybody has some kind of connection to Mount Tabor.
And you mentioned Tabor City. Tell us how that name originated.
It's one that I inherited when I got here. It's just something that has stuck from basketball to football, through athletics, and it has a good ring to it that, we always ask them, whose city is this? And they say Tabor City.
And we also heard there might be a third quarter tradition here. Is there a hint of this you could possibly say?
Yeah, so the only thing I can hint to you is it is a little chilly tonight, so I wouldn't stand too close to our student section in the middle of third quarter because you might get a little bit wet.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for being here. Go Spartans.
And coming up next, we have our Medical Minute. Stay with us.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is proud to present you with this Medical Minute.
As a school nurse, I feel like we're really that contact between the Department of Public Health and what goes on in the school system.
And I've never seen anything like what we experienced with Hurricane Helene. As the rain continued to fall, winds continued to blow, things went from what we had prepared for to something much worse.
These kids need their routines, and they thrive with routines, and it's so important that we get them back into school.
When we have a crisis like we had with Hurricane Helene, we got to see that, as with our own perspective on our children, that they're not just the kids that come to our school, but they are our community. We love the state of North Carolina. We love the mountains. And this experience has reinforced for me that we live in a state that cares authentically about the health and well-being of every single one of its citizens.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to Mount Tabor High School. It's homecoming night, and we have our homecoming queen, Kendall Sykes.
Yeah.
She was so happy.
She was.
Her dad was in the military. They had a great little hug on the field. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. Here's some numbers from that first half. You know who was the real winner of this game? The penalties in the first half.
Just got to let me hang in there for a second. Really competitive first half. Penalties aside, very competitive first half. It was Mount Tabor taking advantage of a couple late penalties, good field position, and a key turnover on a kickoff return to capitalize and get the last 13 points in the first half. Really nice job of playing situational football when it mattered most.
And then some impressive highlights. Grayson Treadway, he was slinging the rock in that first quarter.
Well, this is what opened up a very high-scoring first half for us. Really got the ball rolling that time, just finding the end zone, and then a two-point conversion to follow. It really seemed like that was going to be a recipe for success, but not to be outdone were the Spartans. An 80-yard strike that time to Jalen Davis down the field. And the first impact play of the half from Jaden Smith-Mafuth, and this was the second one. An end around taken by him off the edge. Breaks one tackle. Great blocking down the field by his receivers and offensive linemen, and used that athleticism to find the end zone for the first time tonight.
And then the safety was set up by some bad punting here. And then again, back-to-back touchdowns for two.
On really almost identical plays as well for this offense. It was Toot the first time. And then Amir Dalton around the side on an identical play. They find pay dirt. It seemed like they were in control until late in the first half. Mount Tabor gets the football down the field. Jaden Smith pops it into the end zone one time.
Not Jaden Mafuth Smith.
Right, just Jaden Smith. And a fortuitous bounce on the ensuing kickoff. Fumble recovery for the Spartans turns into the second touchdown of the night for Jaden Smith-Mafuth this time. And the Spartans, again, that situational play helps them get to the end zone.
There you go. Kendall Sykes, our homecoming queen. We got some football when we come back. Look at that. That's what high school's all about. We'll have interviews with the coaches after this. Congratulations, Kendall, homecoming queen of Mount Tabor. Welcome back to Mount Tabor High School. 4-point game here at halftime. We have the homecoming court in session. And while we have a minute, Chelsea Grove's getting ready to talk to the coaches. Mark, that first half, we noted the penalties, but these offenses very explosive. What's going to be the key here in the second half?
Limiting that explosiveness on defense. Both these teams had bright spots defensively in the first half. Long stretch of Oak Grove defensively holding that Spartan offense in check. And to close out the half, really nice job by Mount Tabor to do much of the same. But which defense allows fewer explosive plays against them is going to really do a nice job of setting their team up for victory here in the second half.
And here's Chelsea Groves with Coach Creason.
Coach, a back-and-forth game here tonight. Impact plays on both ends to keep your team in the mix. How do you respond here in the second half?
Like I just told those guys, a lot of this stuff is on us. You know, it's mistakes we're making, special teams mistakes, defensive mistakes. So it's stuff that we can control. We just got to control it in the second half and do a better job of just eliminating those mistakes.
And despite those mistakes, what are some of the bright spots you did see in some drives in this game?
I mean, I feel like we're moving the ball well. You know, we're getting stops. We're just, you know, you get to a 3rd and 13 and you get a personal foul, something we can control. We get a touchdown down here to take the lead. You get a personal foul, then you back up and you kick it out of bounds. So it's all stuff that, you know, is on us. But again, we're doing well. Like, we're moving the ball, we're getting stops, so we just got to continue to do those things.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it. Bear down.
Guys.
I love the bear down.
Oh,
at the
bear
end
down.
there.
Hey.
You ever been to Black Bear Diner? That's a good little spot.
I have not.
Yeah, great breakfast spot.
Ooh.
Anyway, we got a 4-point game here. I just started to think about food, and you lost me there for a second. Mark, while both teams warm up, because this is homecoming, sometimes these halftime breaks are even a little longer than we can expect.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We do have, in the fourth quarter, stay tuned to find out our Carolina Classic Fair player of the game, the Carolina Classic Fair, 10 Days of Awesome. And in the fourth quarter, you think in Mafooth, we'll highlight tonight's Caring Hands play of the game, Caring Hands Home Health. Put your loved ones in our caring hands. And stay tuned in the fourth quarter, we'll have our Norris Automotive drive of the game, Norris Automotive, foreign and domestic automotive repair serving Mebane and Burlington. And tonight's game is being streamed live on our YouTube and Facebook page, sponsored by Tip Top Roofing. Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Football Roofing. And while we have you for a second, stay tuned. We'll have our school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Your school bus stop of the game's coming up in the fourth quarter. And look who's in the building.
Oh.
Older brother, Snook Peterkin, back in the house. With his younger brother.
The Hokie paying us
with the turnover, the fumble tonight.
Yeah.
Zymir.
I know Blacksburg experiencing some turnover up there right now. New coach eventually going to be coming in. But, boy, Snook has got to be one of those guys that's a priority.
Yeah, you see Ty Sean, hey, you got any reps for me? Right. Snook, can you get back in there and where's Zymir's number? Sport the 19. Yeah. There's Zymir.
Might not be able to get away from it. I'll tell you what, just right there in street clothes, he looks definitely bigger. I mean, college, you go in there, they get a hold of you, and he looks a lot bigger than he did even his time here.
You put on those freshman 15, you start eating some dorm food, you get in the weight room.
Those nutritionists up there at the Division I level are no joke now.
Yeah, I see all the TikToks of the banana smoothies at 6 a.m. when you go into the facility, and then the pre-practice snack and the post-practice meal and
post-meeting meal, pre-meeting meal, in the middle of the meeting meal.
If you want to be fed well, join a college football team.
If you want to be dressed well, join a college football team.
Our 25-minute halftime's coming to a close. Homecoming, you got to add a little buffer in for the Queen, Kendall Sykes, with homecoming court tonight, and then the homecoming dance tomorrow. But it was funny talking to Coach Tyshawn Brown. We said, okay, so your son's the quarterback, like how's things going? He said, well, Kingston has a friend, lady friend, he's taking to the dance tomorrow night. We said, oh, how's that going? He said, yeah, it's always tricky being a dad in these situations. I love my son, but I got to trust his judgment.
It's always so funny, like when you talk to the coaches and you're talking football, and all of a sudden you start talking kids. And they turn into completely different people at that point in time. And Tyshawn is as honest as he is about his football team and how he coaches and whatnot. You can see he gets a little giddy talking about his family, which is great. I mean, he's a family man, certainly a good man out there. One of our favorites definitely here on FNR.
And then on the reverse side, talking to Rob Creason, he's got a little toddler boy running around. He's like, once they start running, all hockey sticks come loose. You know, you're just trying to fight for your life. And he enjoys some family time, no doubt.
I'll tell you what, he's got to be one of the funnier ones we get to. both great dudes on opposite sidelines and really important purposes while they're on the gridiron. Great football coaches as well. Know how to put their teams in the right position to win. And they're both right in the thick of it right now, starting at half number 2.
Now the second half the other way. Eli Fulcher sends it loose. And into the end zone, a touchback to begin the second half. For Mount Tabor, last 2 drives, very convincing up and down the field.
Again, the opportunistic football, situational play, very good at the end of the first half. You get a long kickoff return following a penalty. Allows you to start in plus territory. You score a touchdown, you force a fumble on the ensuing kickoff, and you get back into the end zone again, all within the span of just about 2 minutes of game time. It's a really nice job by them. Can they continue that role now after a 25-minute and extended halftime?
That was a long break. Both teams stayed on the field. They went to the corners. Nobody in the locker room. Kingston Brown to open the second half. Jock Hunter, a rare rushing attack. And a nice run at that. Right at the sticks. They'll give him the first. For Dylan Dillard, my apologies.
A human joystick just moving around through those defenders that time, following his blocks and just getting away from multiple defenders on that Grizzly defense.
20th rush for Tabor, but it felt like a half of incompletions and slow plays.
It was a lot of air attack in the first half, really on both sides of the football. Mount Tabor, though, evolving a little bit, throwing the football a little bit more.
That was a Crescent Ford first down. Here's play action. Brown goes short. There's another catch. And another first down. Angelo Moreno will get 15. And now the quick passing attack for Kingston.
You're really asking Kingston Brown to do a lot here just from the spot of rolling out. You got a two-way read. You can either dump it out into the flat, and there was Mafuth right there, or you go a little bit further down the field. Angelo Moreno right there separates, and Brown finds him for a quick catch and a first down.
Well, those 9 completions explosive, including the 80-yard touchdown to Jalen Davis. 2 plays, 2 first downs for Mount Tabor out of the halftime. Play action. Oh, he's got a man deep. Nice catch, Mafuth. There he goes. How about 3 scores for Mafuth? Count them all, son. Jaden Mafuth Smith. His 9th score of the year.
And in the 2 games that we have called, including tonight for Mount Tabor, not 1, not 2, not 3, 6 touchdowns for Jaden Smith Mafuth. Some guys are just born for the bright lights, and he is one of them. The RPO sucks the defense in, thinking it's a run. They come to the line of scrimmage, and no one accounts for Mafuth on the back end.
60-yard play, and there's the extra point. Mount Tabor, they've scored 3 straight touchdowns.
Mafuth cashes in. 3rd time tonight, 6th time in the last 2 games we've seen him. What a player, what a game. Spartans are rolling.
Trying to park the car there. Jaden Mafuth. I think he's our new favorite player in the area. He knows it. 3 touchdowns.
You can't say enough about what he brings to this offense. He has just become, from last year being more of a complementary piece alongside the star power of Jadon Blair and Snook Peterkin, who's in attendance tonight. And now he is the focal point of the offense, a guy that you have to get the football in his hands. And that is the 3rd time he has visited the end zone tonight, and the 2nd time in 2 games that we've seen from him. tote the rock into the end zone for a third time.
Second receiving touchdown. Here's the kick return. And Oak Grove gets out past the 30. So, Mark, it's 3 straight drives. Nothing cooking here for the Grizzlies. How do they change things?
Well, and now the complexion of the game has completely changed. It has been a 20-point swing back in favor of the Spartans, and they have done an excellent job of capitalizing on their opportunities. Now Oak Grove, with that passing attack, has to make something happen. And really haven't seen the whole lot. They start off really well in the first half, did some good things in the second quarter, but Grayson Treadway and this offense have to find traction soon.
Treadway's first play of the half feeds Kamari McFadden. That's a great run. McFadden taking defenders past the 50, and he wants 15 more. There's the horse collar.
Yeah, he's going to get it all the way from the middle.
Or the dread collar tackle. I mean, his whole jersey came loose. That's an easy call.
He was just dragging. He's not even just dragging. He was tailing a defender with him down the field, almost escorting the defender alongside him down the field.
So a 15-yard run plus a 15-yard penalty.
And as a defender, what are you supposed to do? I mean, look right here, and that's not just anyone. That's Jesse Wallace trying to bring him down. He just can't.
He went for the slide tackle?
Yeah.
Yeah, McFadden, what a beast. 5 yards of carry. That was Marshawn Lynch-esque against the New Orleans Saints.
Sure was.
Back in the 2011 wildcard game. Maybe the best run in NFL history, given the circumstances.
Were you watching it live?
I think I was.
I was.
My phone was shaking, too.
I remember exactly where I was.
At the time, my TV was shaking.
I was eating wings.
My 44-inch plasma. There's a throw out to the left and a big completion. Cam Kennedy, touchdown. Doesn't matter what screen you're watching it on, Oak Grove explodes for 35 yards.
Well, it's good to know that defense was optional tonight. Just no one there. You're asking your defensive back. He's one-on-one, and I mean one-on-one. If he doesn't make the play, Oak Grove's getting into the end zone, undercuts the route, takes a chance, but instead takes a bad angle trying to break up the pass, and that is as easy as it gets. Down the field, a catch and run for Cam Kennedy. And just like that, finally a little bit of offense. You get the big plays on that drive, and you're right back in this football game.
There's an extra point after the run home with a triad touchdown. Well, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, 2 minutes. We're on pace for one of those Bonkers 60-60 kind of nights.
Again, defense tonight might be optional. But these 2 teams on offense right now are taking advantage. Defenses are offering up opportunities to make plays right now, and these offenses are capitalizing when they have presented themselves. But what a statement for Oak Grove, and really a drive that if you are Mount Tabor, you get off the field, your offense goes back out there, and they score another touchdown. You're talking about a ball game that has slipped well away from the Grizzlies, and now it flips right back around the other way.
Rob Crease and Cam Kennedy getting on the same page after that 30-yard score. He's dabbing up his buddies.
And Oak Grove, just a testament to what they do and who they are. Rob Creason is not going to let them lie down.
We told you these clubs average 40 points a game in the Mid-Piedmont 5A, 6A conference.
And that Oak Grove sideline has a head coach who has won 23 out of the 26 games that he has coached at that high school.
Replacing one of the legends, Mark Holcomb of the area, who went to Bishop McGuinness and is now at Wake Forest as a special assistant to Dave Clausen. Or, pardon me, Jake Dickard. Formerly, Coach Clausen.
Yeah.
I heard some whispers from the production room. That's when you know you got it wrong, when they start questioning things. Another good kickoff for Eli Fulcher. And now Mount Tabor, who's been unstoppable since the clock hit 9 o'clock, they just keep scoring.
Yeah, I mean, clock didn't strike midnight, 3 hours a little too early, but they have turned the page on what started out as a good start to the game, then a little bit of a lull in the second quarter, before now exploding on their last 3 possessions, all for touchdowns. Question for Oak Grove, what are they going to do defensively? Right now, the flow of the game is flowing right through that offense. And Kingston Brown has done an excellent job of feeling everything out tonight and having an answer every single time an opportunity has arisen.
Kingston Brown, how about 210 yards in the blink of an eye? 3 passing touchdowns. And he operates here on first down. Little screen play. Nice catch. Bradley Bird once again. I've said that name a bunch. Bird with his 9th tackle.
And Daniel Honeycutt came all the way from his defensive end spot as well to make that play from behind too. Good job tracking that one down, but it is a first down. Nice job on the screen executing on first down against a defense that was being a little more aggressive on that play.
Coach Brown noted we want to get Dylan Dillard the ball more this week. They like his explosiveness. He had been more the third back until this week. Here's Dillard in the backfield again. He gets the rock. Just a gain of 1 that time. Ben Boulware on the stop with Daniel Honeycutt.
I'm telling you, this Bird kid, pretty good. Bradley Bird can play some football.
In a state where Luke Kuechly made a living for the Carolina Panthers, just down the street.
Something about a linebacker that does the finger tape.
He's as old school as it gets, and remember, he started as a freshman for Oak Grove in their first playoff appearance as a program. Now back-to-back trips to the 2nd and 3rd round for Oak Grove. Here's a quick toss. Malachi slips the tackle, and look who's there again. Honeycutt from the D-line position. These dudes can fly around the football.
Yeah, they can. And a lot of the times, and Evan, you can have a testament to this as well. Defense, it's very simple at times. See ball, find ball, get ball. And that time, Honeycutt 2 times on this drive did a really good job of having backside pursuit and bringing down ball carriers.
With the sound of the Tabor Spartan Band playing here on 3rd down. Kingston Brown gets out of the pocket, directs traffic. Kingston chucks. Incomplete. He had an open receiver, couldn't find Dylan Dillard. And now a 4th down decision.
Couple receivers in the area that time, just running go routes down the field, essentially trying to get deep. You see your quarterback scrambling.
That's the Madden play.
Right, you
4
go
verticals.
Yep, you're trying to get into that improv mode. And just nothing there. Dylon Dillard was the intended target, just couldn't get it to him.
That was a point of emphasis as well. It's Dylon Dillard, not Dylan Dillard, so I apologize on that one. Here's the punting unit. Good punt. Amir Dalton lets it bounce. Now he plays it. And Dalton makes something out of nothing. Okay, Amir Dalton, down the sideline. Dalton gets a block. Stays in bounds. Dalton tripped up at the 10. Electric. Cramping his way inside the 10.
Don't tell high school football that special teams does not matter. They have made an impact tonight in a lot of different ways, both positive and negative. This time, Amir Dalton takes it on the bounce, shakes a couple of coverage guys for Mount Tabor, and just gets down the sideline before an excellent play is made to trip him up shy of the end zone. But another big return in this football game.
Amir Dalton already has the touchdown. He almost scored his 2nd.
Will Rowe stays with that play and saves the touchdown.
Into the Cook Reynolds red zone. Caleb Tuttle in motion. McFadden banging. Touchdown. Kamari McFadden unstoppable in this 3rd quarter.
Zamir Peterkin had him lined up to slow him down, bring him down, but instead of trying to wrap up and get his arms around Kamari McFadden, just uses a shoulder check that time. McFadden keeps his balance and gets into the end zone. You've got to wrap up in that situation. Right here, Peterkin has him. You just got to tackle him. Instead of leaning into him with the shoulder, get your arms around him and bring him to the turf.
Impressive score on the run home of a triad touchdown. And that extra point, 38-35. Well, Mark Covert. This game's just getting started.
And momentum doesn't mean a thing here. The Grizzlies down again, find their way into the end zone again, and have the lead yet again.
Welcome back to Mount Tabor. Even the Oak Grove student section's like, oh, man, it's 38-35, and we got 8 minutes left in the third. This game's far from over.
It's just taking a while, but when you got two offenses that are firing on all cylinders like they are right now.
I didn't pack enough snacks for this game.
Yeah, blow for blow right now. They are going back and forth, and it is a slugfest offensively.
And I love to see Carson Williams in the background there. He's the former starting running back who's now at NCHSAA as just a student. He's just getting his degree.
Yep.
But Williams was one of the best runners in the region last year. I might have to text their old coordinator, Dave Marsh, this week. Tell him about that guy, Carson Williams. That kick actually lands perfectly out of bounds in the end zone. So it goes to the 20.
How close that is to being a kick out of bounds.
Eli Fulcher. He has some college offers. Can certainly boom it.
Boy, oh boy, what a kick.
Getting some love from Josiah Yokley as well. One of the emotional team favorites on the club. Good to see Josiah part of the program, traveling.
All right, Mount Tabor, now their turn. The explosive plays have come their way here in their last several drives, but now again they find themselves down in this football game.
Jock Hunter slips out of 2 tackles, and Hunter's still going. He turns a loss of 5 into a gain of 7.
We'll chalk it up to the individual effort that time of Jock Hunter. Fades 2 defenders in the backfield, able to get that plant foot in the ground and take that burst upfield, finish that run as well with some contact on the back end, fall forward to pick up a couple extra yards.
3 drives, 3 scores in this second half. A lot of offense tonight. Here's a deep shot. Brown chucks it. Incomplete. Wanted Jalen Davis. Good coverage from Jaden Glenn.
I'm telling you, Evan, that football fires out of his hands right there. Kingston Brown puts that football in the air, and it looks like it's going to be just the biggest overthrow you've ever seen in your life, and then it just completely free falls.
And I'm free falling?
The trajectory is crazy. I mean, it just takes off at this angle like it's going to be overthrown and just dies in the air. And it's really a great trajectory for receivers to track the football and go get it just a little too far that time.
Sets up 3rd and 2. Jock Hunter. He's going to be short of the sticks. And now a decision here. 4th and very little, depending on the spot. We have 2 different spots. And now the chain game. We still have that in high school. The chain game comes out.
I don't know that the funds are there at that point in time. They're going to move the sticks for the first down. It's touching just enough of that 30-yard line.
Yeah, generous spot for Mount Tabor. They'll take it. Jock Hunter, 10 yards to carry in the second half.
Don't know we have the funds of the state for the automatic review.
Here's Hunter again. No review needed, gain of 4, but a flag comes in after the run. The only thing stopping these great offenses tonight are some early penalties.
Yeah. In particular, Mount Tabor, they found themselves in this position time and time again. Penalty sets them back. But here's the key to that, though, Evan. A lot of these penalties are coming on the early down. So it's either 1st or 2nd down. So it's not like on a 3rd down where you're at, 3rd and 5, and all of a sudden you commit a hold, and it goes back to 3rd and 15. It's a much different play call. You've got time to make up those yards because of it.
First and 20 after the penalty for a young sophomore quarterback, Kingston Brown, who has gotten so good the last 3 games, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. He goes to Mafuth. Oh, man, look at Mafuth getting 10 yards back, juking 2 defenders.
Yeah, the 3 guys lined up in a triangle out there on Mafuth, and he still finds a way to get away from 2 of them, and almost the 3rd along that Oak Grove sideline.
And now Mafuth goes down. Here comes the training staff. Well, that could be a huge loss if he's out for an extended period. A lot of cramping in this game.
A little odd at this time of the year as well.
It's not one of those 85-degree nights.
No.
We've seen plenty of those.
And it's been a couple of different occasions where it's been, you know, in the 70s, high 70s a little bit, but usually a lot of those cramping games and players going down because of them happens earlier in the year. You get acclimated to the game, stay hydrated, and eventually that starts going away. But there's been a lot of it here this evening.
So as Mafuth gets back to his feet, Mark, you're getting married next week, but we continue on. We do not stop for the covert wedding. Adrian Snow, longtime coach at West Forsyth, will join us. Dudley Grimsley, that's a game we've tried to make happen.
Yep.
Not in the same conference until this year. And
yep.
A fun Greensboro tilt next Friday.
It's so funny. I'm almost jealous that I'm not here for Adrian. Like, I really want to know, and I will certainly be having my eyes.
Your wedding's on Saturday, though, right?
It is.
Okay,
I will have attention paid to FNR next week. Throw it on for a little bit before the missus, or the soon-to-be missus, decides to capiche that.
Well, it starts at 7:30 on I-48, so you can pop in.
Yep.
Or on our YouTube and Facebook page.
Adrian's going to do a great job, as he always does.
He's always a hoot. How about a reverse and a fumble? Oh, Oak Grove takes advantage. Opportunistic defense. And how about Dylan White, the junior, scooping it up?
Well, we saw in the first half, towards the end of the first half, that JoJo Malachi was a little loose with the football, almost put it on the turf. This time, they try to do the reverse to Malachi. He cannot corral the football. A little bit of a challenge in the exchange from Jalen Davis. It goes on the turf. And Dylan White able to be opportunistic, hop on the football, and get right back to a red-hot Oak Grove offense.
8th turnover forced by Oak Grove this year. And back to Grayson Treadway. He takes a shot. Looking end zone. A lot of contact. There's the PI.
Yeah, it's a smart play defensively, though.
Clay was about to slip loose.
You're right there. It's not a spot foul in high school. You just take the 15-yard penalty. And you live to play another down. It's a smart play defensively at the high school level.
Both Oak Grove and Mount Tabor have had double-digit leads. Oak Grove's knocking the door for another big lead. I don't let the student section explain why they can't do that.
Well, you get beaten coverage, that's one uh-oh. You at least minimize the damage by committing a penalty. Not very often you're going to say that.
McFadden, he's a tough dude to bring down. And Kamari McFadden will get 3 yards. Described as a physical bruiser in his first year starting.
He just kind of like rolls off of tackles, doesn't he, Evan? Like you get a guy around him and you think you have him wrapped up, and he just kind of rolls right out of it. And that's just one of the ways you can be more elusive. You don't have to be super fast, quick, like you're in a phone booth dodging different defenders. Sometimes it's taking the contact and knowing how to use a defender's momentum against them.
Someone clearly watched Dodgeball, the 5 Bs of dodging. He knows how to do it.
Many times.
Treadway a little toss. This is Dalton. Nice cutback. Dalton staying on his feet. He gets to the 2. Another 1st and goal here for Oak Grove.
These two backs tonight, Amir Dalton, who's listed as a wide receiver running back combo at that. Tough runner, great straight line speed, has been the perfect complement to Kamari McFadden's bruising style in the backfield.
On the Crescent Ford 1st down, good creative play call. Inside the 2. 2 tight end set. McFadden, he just goes up the middle. Unstoppable tonight. Kamari McFadden with another score.
It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be epic. It doesn't have to be super stylish. It just has to work. And Oak Grove is so consistent offensively in their execution. When they get this part in the field, it is almost extremely difficult to stop them.
Run home with a triad touchdown where property owners and tenants find their perfect fit. A lot of touchdowns tonight. And a lot of Eli Fulcher, 10-point game. Well, that's what you like to see if you're Oak Grove, down 2 scores at halftime. Boom, 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 3 straight scores.
Again, it's nothing fancy. Just go straight up the gut. There's no one home for Mount Tabor defensively. McFadden walks in. He's not going to get a whole lot of touchdowns that are easier than that one. Takes the contact, fights through. But really,
and another one bites the dust.
The contact doesn't get there. Get your heart out. Grizzlies Nation, they are on a roll here in the second half.
300 yards of offense, and we're midway through the third quarter. And we know this game's not over yet.
Just incredible offense across the board right now. Evan, you and I were talking at the break. This is, if it's not already, it's up there with some of the higher scoring games we've had here on Friday Night Rivals.
We've had one 90-point game before, East and West Forsyth. Last year, at the end of the regular season, we were right at 90 again, and I would hope someone scores in the next 17 minutes. But I have to go deep into the books to see anything higher than that.
Yep.
Of course, in high school, you have 35-point running clocks. So a lot of times, if one team's putting up a ton, the other team's not. Not the case tonight.
No, it is not.
Points, points, points. As Oprah Winfrey says, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. Everyone's getting touchdowns. Now the music's playing in the kickoff. The DJ's keeping it interesting tonight. And now Mount Tabor gets the rock with 5.5 to go.
Trying to keep everybody on their toes a little bit, right?
But it's the turnovers from Mount Tabor tonight that have been costly.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a lot of different occasions on both sides where you've had to be opportunistic. And most recently here, it's been that defense of Oak Grove that has been able to pounce on a football that's been fumbled. Not allow this offense that was so hot at the end of the first half and the beginning of this half to really get any traction here, and they've allowed their offense to get back out there and put points, and more points on the board here in the third quarter.
Matchup of 6A and 5A programs that can light it up. Here's Malachi following a convoy of blockers. And Malachi will get 4 yards on first down.
It really seemed like they were going to get more out of that play. Initially, JoJo Malachi had a ton of room to work with, but by the time he cuts back, that defense had zeroed in on him, and it was a meet at JoJo Malachi. Several different Grizzlies defenders there.
So here's 2nd and 6. Kingston a little fake. He calls his screen incomplete. Dylon Dillard was open, but he couldn't find it.
Tough play that time, trying to make the screen work again. Have done it a couple times in the game, and for the most part, it's been an effective play in the playbook, but at the presence that time of Nolan Collis on the edge taking on a block was really the only guy there, but may have done enough to affect that play just by his presence.
The down marker had the wrong down on it. It's 3rd down. Our score bug does it. You can't beat our score operators here on My 48.
You cannot.
We are locked in. Our graphics folks, they've been busy. A lot to update. Here's 3rd and 6. Kingston shimmying. He gets rocked and a completion. How about JoJo Malachi sneaking loose, and Kingston Brown gets hit hard.
Well, sometimes the price of playing quarterback is you've got to stand in there and take some wicked shots. And even escaping that time, Kingston Brown delivers a dime down the field, crossing JoJo Malachi, but pays for it at the end that time. It's Collis laying the hit.
Yeah, got hit in the knee, too, as he threw that ball.
Still trying to take some time to shake that off.
And I think Kingston has to exit the game for a play because the training staff came out. The backup quarterback is MJ Clardy. Waiting for the backup quarterback. You know what? James Price is going to play backup quarterback.
Okay.
The punter slash linebacker slash backup quarterback.
Oh, man.
And he's a pitcher on the baseball team.
How can't you love high school football?
He wasn't on the homecoming court, though. We didn't have quarterback on his position list. Yeah, he's just going to hand it off. Beats Bullware. Hunter will lose a couple. as Oak Grove was waiting for that run. And here comes Kingston Brown.
It's good awareness by Oak Grove, understanding new guy comes into the game, not really a quarterback back there. The likelihood is he's going to hand that football off. You just play the run 100% that time. So now first assignment, you come back in from taking a quick break on the sideline. Kingston Brown does. You're backed up on second down.
Little play action, rolling him out. Goes short to Mafuth. Nice open field tackle. That's Malik Hairston, the senior.
And I wonder, because of that hit, he takes a hit like that. Does it change the game plan a little bit going forward? You try to get him out of the pocket. You saw the rollout that time. Get him away from some of that pressure and keep him a little more protected, or at least as much as you possibly can.
Last week we were leaving West Oaks at 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock and we're cooking in the third quarter of a fun matchup. Every week you get something different here on my 48.
A lot of different offenses, defenses, teams that play so many different styles of football in the area alone.
With Mark Covert, I'm Evan Budrovich, Chelsea Groves down there. A chilly night in Winston-Salem and Tabor City. Incomplete. And the punting unit.
And Kingston Brown thinks he knows he had one along the sideline that time. Trying to go for JoJo Malachi on the sideline, just fires that one too far out of bounds. He can't let his receiver go make a play along that sideline. See right here, has his guy. Feels the pressure though, and it affects him just enough from Ben Boulware. 6'5", 290, running down on you, affects the throw just enough to force it wide and out of bounds.
And now Oak Grove's going to call a timeout. Rob Creason didn't like something there. There's Rob. I think Oak Grove didn't have enough players on the field. Teaching moment for the third-year head coach.
Pretty impressive resume that he's built over there, though.
To be ranked in the top 50 of the state last year, just year 7 of the program.
And everyone across the state, certainly in the western portion, is very well aware of who Oak Grove is. And for a program that is only 7 years old, to have that kind of recognition and respect throughout the area is pretty impressive. We've seen our fair share of Oak Grove over the years. And I was thinking about it earlier today, Evan. I can't really remember a time where we've actually had one of their games and they've lost.
They did lose to West Forsyth 2 years ago in the opener.
That is correct.
The Lightning Bolt.
That is, yes.
We thought this game was going late. That game didn't start till 9:30. Here's the punting unit for Mount Tabor. That Kingston Brown injury derailed the drive. He did return to the game. And now a beautiful punt that'll get downed inside the 10. Nice job. Ball at the 2-yard line. That 68 is a special team shirt, so I don't know the kid's actual number. But a nice play by 68,
yeah,
the long snapper.
Great play.
A lot of times in high school football to avoid the double numbers. Oh, okay, I got it now. Maddox Davis, who's 82, but then on special teams will wear the 60 number.
Yep.
There you go.
And really, I think he might just keep the jersey on for right now.
He might as well.
Yeah.
Starting this drive from their own 2, McFadden spins off one, couple of yards here. And right now, Mark, this Oak Grove offense, they're clicking.
But this is the first real time tonight I think they've been backed up this far. A lot of this game has been played, Evan, with these possessions starting towards midfield. And right now, Oak Grove is backed up further than they have been at any point so far tonight.
And movement will get 5 free yards. That's a jump from Bennett Blaney.
That's an easy way to get out of the shadow of your own goalpost as well. Just get those procedure penalties offsides. And one more time.
13 penalties for Tabor.
Just not good enough. Going into halftime is exactly what Tyshawn Brown said. Penalties are the things we have to clean up. It's inexcusable. So far in the second half, he's added at least another 4 or 5.
Second and short. McFadden's not going to get there. Nice stop from this Tabor defense. Who do you want to give credit for that tackle, Mark? I don't really know who. Jalen Davis, maybe?
Maybe. A lot of different defenders there. Give it up for the team. Really nice job swarming to the football.
You should have seen my Max Prep stats if they counted team tackles back in the day.
Oh, boy.
I would have had 100 tackles. You could be liberal with those tackle counts at the high school level. There's 3rd and short, and then more movement. That's on the tight end. Charlie Reese. They say Charlie Reese runs like a deer. And at 6'4", 230, I can't wait for him to grow into his body next year as a junior.
Kidding. You got a frame like that, 6'4".
Doe a deer, a female deer. Ray a drop of golden sun. It's an old song. You got to look it up.
Huh.
Fa sol la do re ma. Here's a catch. Look at that explosive play. Good first down conversion there for Oak Grove. That's Clay.
Poetry in motion that time. Good tunnel screen to the inside. They tried to hit it in the first half, and it fell incomplete straight through the hands of Clay. This time, they get it right underneath and get a nice chunk of yards and a first down. Very much needed first down at that.
Clay for 18. That's a Crescent Ford first down. Crescent Ford a high point serving the Triad since 1970. Dalton spun down. Nice stop from Bennett Blaney, who had 3 tackles for loss last week. He gets his second right here.
I think that's one of the only times tonight we've seen Amir Dalton get stopped in the backfield, or really before he could start turning those shoulders upfield at all. Good job by the defensive line of Tabor to penetrate, get back there, and make the play.
And with the pace that Oak Grove plays, there's not much clock coming off either. These slow drives. Get so many plays happening. I wonder if they'll change their tempo in the 4th quarter. Dalton gets it. Staying on his feet. And there's Jesse Wallace on the stop. 3rd and 5 upcoming. Because in theory, Oak Grove doesn't have to snap the ball before the end of this quarter.
And I don't think, given the circumstances, they will. And they do not seem to be in a particular hurry to do so. You see right there, Grayson Trebway even noted it. He pointed right to the clock that time and said, we don't have to snap the football. You see right there, he's saying, calm down. We'll take it to the 4th. No, we're not.
Treadway with 8 seconds. He's going for it. And now he's going to wait. One of the rare times Oak Grove uses the clock as their friend. Let's go to the 4th quarter. First ever meeting. Oak Grove, Mount Tabor putting up an easy 90. Do we get into triple digits? We'll find out here on My 48 Sports. Rob Creason battling it out with his friend Tyshawn Brown. Entertaining fourth quarter action, 90 combined points, and we start the fourth, a little play action. Underneath to Jaquan Clay, and Clay's explosive. 3rd and 5, he's got a foot race, and he stays in bounds all the way to the 25. Oak Grove's not slowing down anytime soon.
They've run that play at least 3 times tonight where they've had the receiver come across the formation and just dump out into the flat, and they fire it right to him. 2 times it's gone for a touchdown from about 20 yards out, and this time it is a long gain for Toot Clay down the field.
Explosive offense here for Oak Grove. First down pass. End zone shot. Clay's open. Nice adjustment.
Whoa!
To the 1. And there's a flag in there. Who's it on, though?
Are you kidding me?
He mossed him.
No, are you kidding me?
No, we've seen 90 points. I'm not kidding you tonight. What's the penalty? Okay, Jamie Pine. Yeah, let's see this catch. How about that effort?
I mean, the defender runs right through him, but my goodness. Jaquan Clay with possibly the catch of the year. Look at this. Just sticks it to the back of his helmet. That's absurd.
Outstanding.
Are you kidding me?
Toot, toot, toot. It's his nickname.
I mean, who does that in high school?
And why is that kid out of the game? Give him the ball again. With the penalty, the ball goes to the 2-yard line. What a dime from Grayson Treadway, who's 10 of 15 for 200 yards and 4 tutties.
That is ridiculous from the wide receiver spot.
Tight ends in motion. McFadden. He's stuffed to the 1. Nice stop by Terradon Thacker.
You got to think you're going to go with some runs here. Just try to power that football in the end zone. But the one thing you've got to know, you got to be aware of, if you are Mount Tabor defensively, that play, receiver crosses the formation, just goes out into the flat. This has burned them on 3 different occasions.
McFadden again. Oh, he's not in there yet.
Wow.
Good stop. That was Jamarius Hunter, the running back, making the tackle.
And so now you got to think maybe a passing situation here. Mount Tabor certainly bent on stopping the running game right here. 2 times in a row at the doorstep have stopped it.
3rd and inches. Whistle. What's this? Timeout, Mount Tabor. And you see the look on Tyshawn Brown's face. A staff with 8 alums of Tabor High School.
Definitely one of those places within the area and really the state that is a true community. I mean, we talk every time we come around this time of year when we're having a Mount Tabor game. Tyshawn is very proud of the fact that he leads a program where so many former players come back. They live in the area. They still attend the games. They still text each other. Definitely a community and really a family, an extended one at that here at Mount Tabor.
One of the local pockets of Winston-Salem. We're just west of downtown and just west of the Krispy Kreme headquarters. Drove by that on my way in. I was like, where do I stop? When do I stop?
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Of course, the Fair Food always has delicious donuts we could try out throughout the year. And wow, look at that. Jaden Mafuth, we saw his calf get injured. He's out. And he might be out the rest of the night.
Well, those shoulder pads are off. So it certainly does appear to be that way.
3rd and inches for Oak Grove. New quarterback in. And he's in. Graham Binkley. 4th rushing score for the backup QB.
What a response by Oak Grove. They were down 13 points here in the second half, and they have clawed their way back to not only take the lead, but put a stranglehold on this football game right now. In the fourth quarter, up by 16. Good push up front, but it's the effort by Graham Binkley to dive and get into the end zone.
Extra point coming. And here's Oak Grove, who was down 35-30, and they've scored 3 straight touchdowns. We'll take the timeout. All Oak Grove here in the fourth quarter. Let's see if Mount Tabor can respond when we return to Tabor City on I-48. There's so many people who help make this possible, but our friend at Cook Reynolds and Ben Cook, who's so involved with the Cook Reynolds, giving us some great end zone views all year long. And how about that? Great partnership all year long. Now, you couldn't pay me to go on one of those things. I'm kind of scared of heights when it comes to open exposure like that.
The scissor? Really?
I mean, I love a good scissor lift, but I'm not a big heights guy.
How do you handle flying?
Well, I mean, I'm inside a plane.
Well, but that's high. It's so much higher than everything else.
When I'm open and exposed to the world of heights, that's when it scares me. You know, like roller coasters where you're inside a box, I'm okay. But when it's, you know, those ones we go way up and way down.
But roller coasters are open air, too.
Hey, you know, you pick and choose your battles. That's why I'm more on the ground. We noted with Kingston Brown, he does not have Jaden Mafuth to help him out the rest of the night. And here's Mount Tabor. They've punted on 3 straight drives, needing a solution.
Yeah, it's such a big blow for what they want to do offensively. I mean, you have to talk about a guy, 3 touchdowns tonight. I mean, that's 60% of your point total gone. That's not on the field right now. So you got to start finding other guys to get involved. JoJo Malachi has been one of those guys. Angelo Marino has been another one of those guys. I mean, Jalen Davis has a long touchdown. There's weapons here, but you've got to find them now in the passing game. Be more creative.
Kamari Harvey just ran on the field before the snap, so that's going to be a penalty. And then a duck, and then a pass interference that may negate, right, to those plays offset?
I would assume so.
Here comes the busy Jamie Pine presenting his 23rd penalty of the night. Yeah, offsetting penalties.
Yeah. You know, there's been a long-standing thing that I kind of think is weird, right?
Hit me.
Last night, as an example, Steelers-Bengals.
Okay.
You had an instance where there was 1 foul, 1 penalty on the offense, and there were 2 fouls on the defense. Everything cancels out. I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you commit more penalties than the other team, like, one of those has to be upheld in some capacity or the other.
The nuance of football. Penalties offset. Kingston Brown, little screen.
Hello.
Oh, incomplete. Tayshawn James could have run all the way to homecoming.
He was wide open and had a convoy of linemen in front of him as an escort. I mean, he was wide open, and you know that, and you've just got to secure the football before you take off running. It's an exciting opportunity. I mean, just look at this. They have this whole thing fleshed out. That is 4 different linemen right there and 1 defender.
That's a tough drop.
That is tailor-made for 6.
For the junior, Tashawn James, he's getting a chat with the coaching staff. Hopefully to lift his spirits up, too. Those are hard plays to bounce back from. 2nd and long. Boulware coming. Brown, nice escape. Well, how about that? Just like we thought. Dylon Dillard out of the backfield.
Doesn't it feel like one of those things you don't do as a quarterback is throw back across your body? And that time in a desperation heave, Kingston Brown right in the middle of the field finds Dylon Dillard and makes the play.
And now, I think another player's down here for Tabor. Okay, he's back up now.
More cramps, it looks like.
I don't know if I would teach that in physical therapy school, how to yank somebody off the table, but the athletic trainers are like, there you go. It's Angelo Moreno getting back up. And they're like, here you go, Angelo. Let's just go look over.
Just stay straight for us. We'll get you.
There have been a ton of cramps tonight. And then Jaden Mafuth out with a calf injury.
It's very weird for the cramps tonight. Very weird.
The homecoming pressure.
I guess.
Remember, Mount Tabor, Oak Grove, a combined 4-0 in league play. They have dominated the Piedmont Triad 6A. Kingston Brown jumps one up. Knocked away. Good coverage. Aiden Murphy nearly had the pick.
Well, good coverage by who on that one, because it should have been a pick. But Kamari Harvey comes over the top and almost turns into a DB that time to knock that pass down. Good DB play and then good turned into DB play.
And this sort of becomes 4-down territory now if you're a Tabor, correct?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, at this point in the football game, you're down 17 points. You need to get into the end zone, and pretty quickly at that if you want any chance of coming back in this football game.
Kingston Brown on 2nd down. Tunnel screen. There's Harvey. Harvey gets a block, and he gets the first out near midfield. Well, this feels like backyard football if Kingston can just pick apart this defense the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, and he actually double clutched that screen pass. Usually you want to catch that snap and fire that football out there, but it may have helped just a little bit getting the football, double clutch it for a second, let everything develop a little bit more, and gave Harvey a clear look of what was going on ahead of him.
Fresh set of downs for Kingston. He pump fakes the screen. Kingston can run this. Kingston Brown with some legs. He's high stepping and wisely gets out after a gain of 20.
No one's going to cover you on the backside. You escape the pocket, get out there, and you don't see anything down the field, and there's just tons of green grass in front. Take off. Get
Look at
those
that
yards.
smile from the sophomore.
Yep.
He said, hey, Dad, what do you think about that?
It hasn't gone really Mount Tabor's way here in the second half at all. But that being said, you can see the different sparks of hope here from a lot of these young players on this roster.
Kingston Brown, nearly 300 total yards tonight. Fresh first down. Kingston Brown wants a touchdown and misfires. JoJo Malachi not on the same page. Malachi was open, though.
To the inside, yeah, but it looked like Brown wanted him to stay to the outside. A little bit of miscommunication that time. It's one of those plays that develops over time. You get that nonverbal chemistry down. You understand where each player needs to be. Just can't hook up deep down the field.
Kingston Brown, the former JV quarterback last year, playing with a ton of underclass receivers. And that run's going nowhere. Good stop by Gil Maxwell's defense. Bradley Bird in on the stop.
Imagine that.
The tackles leader in the state last year, Bird with his 8th stop.
It's a fun player to watch.
He's a bull in a china shop.
Yes, he is. A very unapologetic one at that.
Bradley Bird came in as a full adult in the eyes of Creason and his staff. At 14, he was starting at linebacker. Here he is now as a junior, huffing and puffing his way to 375 career tackles.
And you'll notice around him, there's not a lot of other defenders. He's right there in the middle of that defense, almost circled around him, commanding all phases of it.
3rd and 12. Brown rolls out. Kingston throws. There's a catch and a touchdown, Tabor. Dylon Dillard joins the scoring party.
Say one thing about this Tabor offense, they do a great job when it comes to the scramble drill. These receivers recognize it, and they start moving their routes a little bit more, trying to find open grass for their quarterback to throw to. Kingston Brown has avoided pressure all night long, has made plays on the run all night long, and his receivers have recognized it, found open space, and this time it's Dylon Dillard on the receiving end of another touchdown.
First receiving score for Dylon. The run home of a triad touchdown, and we got a 10-point goal. I think we hit our camera. 10-point game.
That's why Evan doesn't want to be on the scissor lift.
Yeah, that's why you can keep me off that scissor lift. How about this 30-yard bomb?
How about it? Just on the move, a dot straight across the field. Dillard cashes in. And the Spartans draw just a little bit closer.
No Jaden Mafuth. The offense is finding the way. Now I ask, given Oak Grove's tempo, do you change the philosophy with 8 minutes left?
For Oak Grove, I don't know. I think you just continue to run your offense. It's been so successful here in the second half that you just continue to do what you do. I'm a big believer, Evan, and once you start playing to the situation of the game, you lose control ultimately by the end of it. You just run your offense. You're only up by 10 points here. We're not talking about you salting away a lead. You know, you're up 24 with this amount of time left. It's a much different ball game as opposed to 10. I think you just continue to run your offense as you have. Continue to use those wide receivers in the short game and get them the football in space.
That's the question for Rob Cruison's defense. We're keeping John Cole, our statistician, very busy. 8-play, 80-yard drive. John, we need a water break after this game.
He's going to need a water break.
94 points. There's some offense. Short kick for Amir Dalton. And he'll just slide down.
Interesting.
Well, that's one way to avoid a hit.
I wonder if the thought for him is maybe you take the kickoff, you get down, it's a longer field, and you can use more clock.
Yeah.
Because of that.
This is the worst starting field position for Oak Grove.
On a kickoff.
McFadden cuts it out. Thought there might be a block in the back there against Blake Stockstill. And now we got guys rolling on the field. Here's a flag. And the Mount Tabor students are doing push-ups for every point. That's going to be challenging in this game. Those kids are going to look like The Rock after this.
They are.
51, 52.
Yeah, I mean, God bless them if they were trying to do the points scored in a game.
That's like my push-ups for the week.
It's like my push-ups for the last month.
You got to get ready for a wedding.
I got to tell you, Evan, that's 8 days away. If I'm not ready now, I ain't going to be ready.
With Winston-Salem's least eligible bachelor, Mark Covert. I'm Evan Budrovich. 8 minutes to play. Clock running after the penalty. Here's Kamari McFadden. He'll cut it loose and get half of that penalty yardage back. With the tumbling Bennett Blaney, who must have been a gymnast in his extra life. He keeps rolling after every tackle.
You know, Evan, it was only 2 years ago you were harassing me on air. I'm pretty sure it was here, too, as a matter of fact. We had a sponsor for a jewelry store in the area.
We did. Diamonds Jewelers.
Yeah, and I was getting harassed. No, you could go there, take a shot, take a look, you know.
Well, you did. I don't know if you used them or not.
I will be completely honest with you on air. I did not.
A good company, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Now we like our friends at Norris Automotive and Tip Top Roofing and Caring Hands Home Health.
Absolutely.
And Winston-Salem Fairgrounds and Rent a Home with a Triad and Cook Reynolds and Crescent Ford. And there's some others, too.
You can take a breath. It's okay.
Here's Amir Dalton on the ground. He hangs on to the football, and then Dalton takes 7 defenders with him.
Hello.
He turns that into 15 and the first down.
A little bit of a pirouette down the field that time. Just kind of seemed like he was gliding along the grass like he was on a water slide the whole way down the field. Just look, 1, 2, 3, 4,
I've been meaning to ask you, you have the term water slide and pumpkin on your notes.
I do.
I need to know why you have that.
I will tell you about that. You want me to tell you now?
We got 7 minutes.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that's fair. I actually give, speaking of my marriage coming up, I do give my fiance Alexis the dubious honor of giving me 2 words every week to try to slide into a broadcast.
So water slide is one of them.
You know what? I had 0 expectations for it tonight. Pumpkin seemed like a good opportunity.
McFadden wiggles his way for a couple yards.
And because of that, we can cross it off the board.
One of the slower possessions for Oak Grove, who scored a season-high 52 points tonight.
But, boy, the way they are still churning out yards on the ground game, it's kind of come in ebbs and flows. It's been the passing attack, then they've gone back to the ground game, then back to the passing attack, and now they've returned to the ground game that really has been so effective all night long. And those 2 guys on your screen, Amir Dalton and Kamari McFadden, have been dynamite in the backfield.
They've combined for 200 yards. Dalton almost lost it. And he zigs and gets the first. Under 6 minutes to go. And Blaney is down for Mount Tabor. And then the football. This game's getting a little bonkers. The football comes out. But I think the play was dead before Tarrant and Thacker could take the football. So there you go, Mr. Ref.
Just something different about high school football sometimes.
Keeps you on your toes. By the way, we haven't seen J.B. Shabazz since that first quarter. He came in, the East Forsyth transfer. They're hoping to get him really back into the rhythm of practice next week.
Kind of got the feeling he was going to have his opportunities tonight. Just get out there on the field, get his feet wet back with this offense that he had played in before.
He played for East Forsyth last week. He played for Oak Grove this week. He'll play for Oak Grove next week. Given some of the transfers in the state, you just never know.
That's true.
But Oak Grove's going to use a timeout to burn every second of play clock.
And think about what this offense has done here tonight. If you start adding a 4-star lineman, especially at the left tackle spot, to that group, you said reinforcements at the beginning of the broadcast. That's more than reinforcements. I mean, that is a road grader at that left tackle position.
He's a 4-star, signed with Carolina. We'll see how it all unfolds the next few weeks, leading up to signing day in late December. All on the road to the state championships. Just announced new sites. Keenan Stadium, of course, Carolina's home. In Hickory, at the home of Lenore Ryan, and Durham County Stadium in North Durham. Here's Kamari McFadden pushing the pile for 10, 15, 20.
Come on.
Wow. McFadden, a beast. But a flag. Okay, we heard there's an issue with the play clock. So now the officials will count the play clock down themselves. I don't know if you yell, fire, 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 if there's an issue there.
Yeah.
Or when do you give the quarterback a heads up? Because 2 seconds isn't a lot of time between plays.
No, it's not. It's a little alarming. It just kind of keeps switching back from 1 to 2 right now. So
that holding will negate a 20-yard run. It's also hard to burn clock when you don't know how much time's on the play clock.
That is also true.
Yeah, Creson's kind of looking at the ref like, when can we snap this? Treadway's going to go. Atkins just hanging on to that football. He'll get 5 yards.
I think that's really all you're trying to do at this point. Hang on to that football, let your offensive line go to work, and just follow their blocks down the field. Blake Atkins does his job. Relieves Kamari McFadden, who just re-entered the game.
Who's rushed it 20 times. He needed a breather. McFadden, who fills the shoes of one of our favorite backs ever, Isaiah McGuffin.
Yes.
The linebacker, he won Homecoming King the night the game went to overtime against Ledford, that Oak Grove-Ledford rivalry. He rushed for 200 yards that night with, I think, 5 touchdowns. Here's McFadden. It was not going to go as far, but there is a late flag that comes in.
Right down here along the Mount Tabor sideline at that.
There was a tussle between Cam Canaday and one of the DBs, Trey Moye. I think Oak Grove knows it's on them. It's pretty obvious when the whole offense walks back 10 yards. How about this? 52-42. Tabor had a 10-point lead, offsetting penalties. Tabor had a 10-point lead in the third. Oak Grove had a 10-point lead in the fourth. And here we go, 2 of the best offenses in 5 and 6A football going back and forth.
Well, it's been an entertaining football game tonight, Evan, for sure. Usually it's basketball you talk about being a game of runs. But tonight it's been a little bit of offensive fireworks on both sides. One offense gets hot. The other one starts to get hot. Another one cools back down. It's just been back and forth. And I think a game where we came in thinking there was going to be a good amount of defense, played 2 really good teams on that side of the football. And for all intents and purposes, defense has been optional this evening.
There's Oak Grove with a 3rd and 9. Dalton, he did not fool the Tabor defense. They're trying to strip the ball loose and turns into a couple yards.
It's kind of a weird play because you're drawing the defense onto that side of the field and you're asking whoever's coming back across to basically run right into the thick of where that defense is. I know you're trying to catch them in over pursuit that time, but I'd almost go for a regular reverse that time and see if you can beat them with some depth.
Now the Mount Tabor timeout. We got Mount Tabor getting ready for homecoming tomorrow night. Gearing up for a fun weekend in town. Oak Grove on the verge of a 3rd straight league win. They'll go to Glenn, or the host Glenn, next week. And then host North Davidson. We've seen North Davidson before. That's a good running team with Brandon Stay-Mayton and that running attack.
A lot of fun. Had a good game with them earlier this year as well against Central Davidson.
Central Davidson's now 6-1. That triple option attack, they've been impressive.
It's just so hard to defend it if you're not playing your gaps effectively, your assignment football. It's very difficult to try to stop an offense like that if you're not playing sound defensively.
So here's the punt unit for Oak Grove. Eli Fulcher's been a busy man. And another flag.
That was a late whistle, Evan. I mean, like late.
Delay a game. On the defense?
Yeah. Well, no, one delay a game.
Oh, illegal substitution. Okay. It's a very similar signal.
It's close. Gotta have those arms coming across
the arms and the elbows, head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Knees and toes.
Things that I sing to my child to get her to sleep at night when you're 4 months old. Still 3 minutes left. This game's far from over if Mount Tabor can score quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Fulcher. Coffin corner. Where exactly is that corner? We'll take the timeout. 3 minutes to go. Mount Tabor's got some work to do, but time to play here as that clock just keeps ticking on my 48. We'll do it in a second, Mark. It's homecoming weekend here at Mount Tabor High School, and an important month coming up for our broadcast crew. Mark, you and your wife Alexis are getting married next weekend. Look at those engagement photos. Yeah. Congratulations, enjoy next Saturday night. Be a happy camper. You found the love of your life right there.
I did. Not to sound super cheesy.
Look at you guys at the fair.
At the fair, yeah.
I remember that from last year.
That lemonade was absolutely sublime.
The Carolina Classic Fair brings lovers together here on I-48. Kingston Brown with about 3 minutes left. He's scrambling and making plays all night long. Bradley Bird with a stop. First down connection to Jalen Davis. What's your wedding song, by the way? Your first dance song?
1,000 Years.
Oh, I love that.
1,000 Years. Be pretty good. She was already crying when we were practicing the other night.
Oh, my goodness. 2.5 to go. Kingston needs a miracle here. He'll step up and throw it incomplete. Because with the one timeout, you basically need to score. There's no 2-minute timeout in high school.
You need to score fast, and it needs to be basically in either 1 or 2 chunk plays, essentially here, and you try to go for an onside kick from there. But you've got to be able to score fast here so you can at least give yourself a chance on the onside kick. Maybe you force a 3-and-out, and then at that point it's, as Scott Van Pelt likes to say, pitchy, woo-woo.
Here's a second down play. Brown rolls out. He's been dangerous on these type of plays. And Kingston's going to run it for 5. Clock does stop, though, so that'll be helpful.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Evan, I don't think that Kingston Brown has been sacked yet tonight, which as a sophomore at the varsity level is very impressive going against a defense of this caliber. They know how to get after quarterbacks, especially in that front 7. They know how to get pressure, and they know how to get home and finish plays. But the awareness of Kingston Brown has not allowed them to get close enough to him to make those plays, and he's made a lot of them outside the pocket.
Career high 360 yards for Kingston Brown, and there's still time left. Here's 3rd and 5. Oh, that's a missed opportunity through the hands of Angelo Moreno, the second. This is the ball game here, 4th and 5.
Yeah. And obviously you got to have it down. That goes without saying. And you got to think in these situations, it's been JoJo Malachi to be the guy to make the play on this down. And right there in the slot at the bottom of your screen, he's been the go-to guy when they've needed to have a play on a critical down.
No Jaden Mafuth the rest of the night. Here's 4th in the ball game. Brown, he's forced to run. Kingston needs 5. Good block. And Kingston, they say he's there. First down. And now the clock's rolling.
What a job on the perimeter. Block thrown for Kingston Brown gives him just enough space to pick up that first down. That is huge team football right there. Breaks the pocket. I believe it was Dylon Dillard. Throws the block on the perimeter. What a job.
And a whistle. Another false start. Mark, that's 15 penalties on Mount Tabor.
And that you can very easily point to that.
Had 30 combined penalties tonight.
Unbelievable.
Jamie Pine is getting a lot of TV time. It's some inflicted wounds, too. It's not just penalties.
Well, 100%, but you're talking about 15 penalties at this point now, and it's up to 133 yards for Mount Tabor. They go back, and they're going to watch this film and say, guys, we don't commit those penalties. What are we looking at that point?
1st and 15, little screen. Nice catch. And Ben Boulware makes the stop. The 4-star defensive lineman.
To say that, these defensive linemen for Oak Grove do not stop. Several different times on screen passes tonight, you've seen Boulware that time gets through and gets down the field. We've seen Daniel Honeycutt, 0. Get through there as well. These guys are relentless, and they chase down ball carriers from behind on several different occasions.
That gained just 1 yard. Kingston, good play. Better tackle.
Yeah.
And Jace Woodard with the stop. 3rd and short coming up. Minute left. And a timeout. So now Tabor's basically playing for 1 score and then things get wonky.
Yeah, and I know you're trying to just get the ball down the field and move the football, but you got to start thinking we got to get it in chunks at this point. Sometimes it's not about executing, it's about taking your shots down the field and seeing if one of your guys can go get it.
By the way, that Grimsley team we see next week is the #1 team in the state and top 15 in the country.
Yeah.
Without their best quarterback, Faison Brandon.
Still. Unless I am wrong, Faison has not played since we saw him all the way back in week 1, right there on your screen. On August 22nd against West Charlotte in the Keep Pounding Classic. So, I mean, it's been a long part of the season that they have not had the, according to some sites, #1 recruit in the country at quarterback, but it has not slowed them down at all. It's been business as usual for the Whirlies.
And then Reagan and East will close out the year. That's got league title implications written all over it.
100%.
Although Reagan still has West, so that league is not settled just yet.
Yeah, I mean, think about that kind of a challenge at the end of the year. The three of those teams just going head-to-head with each other. It's going to be an exciting finish to that conference play.
West beat East in overtime, and here's an interception.
Oh.
That's it. Of course it's the man of the hour, Jaquan Clay with the pick. He scored 3 times, and he gets the game-winning interception. That's our player of the game right there.
And finally, the pressure gets home. All night long, they've been trying to bring this man down. And Kingston Brown has had an answer all night long. This time just tries to flip one out there and right into the waiting arms of Jaquan Toot Clay.
Toot
to seal this one away. He didn't even try to get it out. It was just poked out. I mean, that's the football gods saying something there. We're going to end this game, and Clay makes sure of it.
Now a couple of knees. We'll wrap this up, but we have an injured player from Mount Tabor.
That's Kingston Brown.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was collapsed on that play.
Crunch down right in the pocket, takes that hit. The second time he's gone up a little slow tonight, but certainly no fault of his own tonight. He has done everything in his power to keep Mount Tabor in this football game, and certainly from the sophomore position, him and a lot of other players in this team. It's going to be fun to watch them develop over the next couple years and see where they can go.
The celebration begins for the Oak Grove Grizzlies. First ever meeting, taking control of the Piedmont Triad 5A Conference. Have not lost a league game since 2021, and that streak will continue.
Just an impressive game the whole way around. Really on both sides. Blow for blow, back and forth against each other. Just trading punches consistently down the field. These offenses had a field day, but at the end, the team that has been more consistent than so many others throughout the state, Oak Grove, marches on.
How about the Oak Grove Grizzlies taking control? They called it hunting season over at Oak Grove. Just the 8th year of this program, and it's their best start ever. They're continuing to roll. 3-0 in the league and taking control with a big hug for the quarterback, Grayson Treadway, who was fantastic. He threw for 4 touchdowns.
Quarterback matchup. This one goes to Grayson Treadway. Just an absolutely spectacular game offensively tonight. Really nice job at both sides, but again, the consistency of Oak Grove shines through in the end.
We'll take the timeout, hear from the winning program when we come back. Oak Grove takes down Mount Tabor on this Friday night.
on TV right now?
Coach, this one was a marathon from start to finish, down 2 touchdowns at the half, respond back with 3 straight in the third. You made big plays down the stretch. Why was your team able to do that?
I mean, we're battle tested. We had games early in the season, and like I said, we were battle tested. We lost 3 games by 7 points in those situations. I challenged these guys at halftime to take advantage of an opportunity in the second half to right those wrongs, and we did.
You mentioned battle tested. Being resilient at this point in the season is key heading into the postseason, late stages in the regular season. Why is tonight a defining win for your team?
Well, it's a defining win because it's another win in the conference. You know, our goal is to win the conference championship every week and have a great product on the field. And tonight, it wasn't always great, but the scoreboard looks great at the end.
And Coach, we have one more thing for you, a trophy. Here we go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yes! Back to you.
Watch out. Get her out of here. The Oak Grove Grizzlies celebrating. There are Winston-Salem Fairgrounds winners, living it up. And Mark, we got some fun stuff to talk about too. How about our Carolina Classic Fair Player of the Game and our Caring Hands Play of the Game? There was so much to talk about with this Oak Grove club tonight. And let's start with Play of the Game. Caring Hands Home Health. Put your loved ones in our caring hands.
Kind of hard to ignore this play. Again, maybe the play of the year on Friday Night Rivals. Stuck to the back of the head, Jaquan to Clay. Down the field, pins it to the defender's helmet, and snares that one for a first and goal. Absolute insanity. Down the field, and you see it from Grayson Treadway. He knows it. Put him over the top. He might be seen on Sunday on Sunday NFL Countdown.
Incredible catch. And how about our player of the game? I think Treadway, the guy throwing it, did his part with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Started early on. Again, Clay making a play there as well. But it was all night long just executing, doing what he was supposed to do, working within the framework of the offense, and not making always the biggest play, but just giving his guys an opportunity to go get the football. Grayson Treadway, excellent game tonight. Very deserving of our Winston-Salem Fairgrounds player of the game.
Jaquan Clay, they call him Toot. Well, his pick secures it. How about Oak Grove, 3-0 in the league? Both Treadway and Clay were special tonight. Yes. And then our Norris Automotive drive of the game, owned and operated automotive repair shop in Mebane and Burlington since '63. And Mark, that second half was loaded with big drives for Oak Grove.
Yeah, absolutely. And just getting down the field again, scoring here, really almost salted the football game away. An excellent job just working the length of the field. Clay, again, another big play down the field. You can't say enough, again, about what they did just situationally, breaking the big play, working within the framework of the offense, making the plays when they needed to. And this was a drive that I think will define the rest of the season for the Grizzlies of Oak Grove.
And then we have our school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm's out, the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in large fines, points on your license, and license suspension. And we need that license, Mark, because you got to drive to your wedding next week.
I sure do, and hopefully I'm not doing a whole lot of driving. I can just say that right now. The really nice job again. This was a fumble recovery that really stopped any momentum that Mount Tabor had offensively in the second half. Able to come up with that fumble recovery was Dylan White. He gets that. Oak Grove scores on the ensuing possession and take command of a game that they would never get back.
Well, it's a fun little rivalry. First time we've seen it. Oak Grove and Mount Tabor. Let's do that again in the next couple of years. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Capital Metals and High Point Cook Reynolds. We showed those end zone views earlier. Mountain Fried Chicken, Patriot Pretzel Company, and all the good stuff, including our friends at Capital Metals. And finally, all the high schools and their admin for their support of our Fairgrounds Friday Night Rivals broadcast. Next week, we're going to see the best team in the state so far, Grimsley Whirlies, Dudley Panthers. Fun Greensboro matchup in Guilford County here on My 48. For Russell Jones, Russ filling in tonight. Great job as our director. Lori Bates, an energized homecoming crowd. Jaden Mafuth was special, but so was Toot Toot. For Mark Covert, Evan Budd, Chelsea Groves down on the field. Fun night in Winston-Salem as Oak Grove beats Mount Tabor.